It's MH370. Until you do some research, don't talk to me. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. Your opinion, it means squat to me. It's H370. Not all heroes wear capes. I wear glasses to see. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. The trolls hate seeing me succeed, but guess what? H370.
World where rich douchebags like Kim Dotcom take advantage of all the rest of us, and they know this shit's real, and they have no problem lying to the world about it.
Pockets and heartache from the USA. The government came and took it all away. If he's a good boy, he gets his allowance. Kim Dotcom has that glowy clairvoyance. Guilty, that why do you glow so hard? Debunking.com, what is hiding in your past? Debunking.com stole from Hollywood, insider trading and embezzlement sting. Now he's on Twitter calling scammers with the only thing. The FBI left him a G-string. But when the glow's calling, he shed a tear. Now he's calling other people scammers out of fear. He got empty pockets and heartache from the USA. The government came and took it all away. Empty thought, why do you blow so hard? Empty.com, what is hiding in your past? Empty.com stole from Hollywood, insider trading and embezzlement sting. Now he's on Twitter calling scammers with the only thing. The FBI left him a G-string. Getting him. Why you go so hard? Why you go so hard? Getting him. Why you go so hard? Why you go so hard? So hard.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm just muted the whole time. Okay, sweet. We're just chilling. We're just muted. Welcome everybody to the stream. So sorry, that was only probably like a minute and a half. Apologies for being muted. That was weird. Why was it muting me? So anyway, I don't know why. If you guys want to follow there, I just showed the guy. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Pepper Zogan, whatever. Pebrigo's in. So thank you very much for making that meme. Appreciate you, brother. That's a good one. Follow him, guys. We'll probably be listening to that some more. Now, I don't know. I keep giving like the best advice to all these trolls and people like that that are out there, and for some reason they just keep coming at me. Like I just keep telling them, like, just stop hitting yourself. My followers are the best memers on the planet. Like you guys are. I wouldn't want to go to a meme war against you guys. I'm glad I have you guys on my side. Let's put it that way. I mean, because that intro is brutal on Kim Dotcom, guys. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I want to get straight to thanking the people that got here early on. Randy, Sham6, Sassy, appreciate you. Mystical Wonderland, Hasty Snack, Nathan, Nastro, Esoteric Gold, Fancy Flint, Chris D, Sayward, Nikki. I'm just going up the list. John, nice to see you, man. Thank you for the sound alert. Appreciate you. Greg, Cole, Scout, Nate, UFO Nut, Casual Links. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that super sticker. It's nice of you. Crypto, Arwin, Ian, Vic, Elgor, Egger, Dramies. Who else do I got up here? CB, S25. Some of you guys, thanks for jumping in early. I appreciate you, man. Actually, there's so many of you guys in here. I can't even get to everybody. So thank you, everybody else who jumped on early for the stream. I hope you enjoyed our intro music. We'll play that again in a little bit. So straight off the bat, I got a message from somebody connected with Glenn Beck, and they want to do, they're considering doing a debate. And the reason why I'm even bringing it up is because they're not going to take it seriously, probably, or they may try to, they want to like try to debunk it or something like that. And I said, that's totally fine. In fact, I said that not only is that totally fine, as long as I appreciate that you would tell me up front, because most of these people just try to like ambush me. As long as it's not an ambush, no problem. I even said, not only is it okay, not only will I debate Glenn Beck, but I will actually give him a handicap because he's going to need it. I said, I'll tell you what my first 3 questions are. You can work with that to, do your best, honestly. And those 3 questions are, what do you think happened to the plane? Number 1. Number 2, what evidence do you have to support what you think happened to the plane? And then number 3 is, do you think the United States government was tracking a rogue 777 for 8 hours? And in fact, I probably just changed number 3 to, how does a plane crash without leaving a debris field? In fact, I'm going to write that down right now. How does a plane crash without leaving a debris field? It's a pretty simple one. And here's the other thing about it. So the reason why I'm excited for a debate with Glenn Beck is because I'm actually not somebody to judge Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck's somebody that a lot of people think that he did some sketchy stuff in the past with his reporting and weren't like big fans of him in general. Hyper conservative. And I'm actually not somebody that's judged him in any of the ways that the media has. I think the media came after him and tried to crucify him. So I would love to have a respectful debate about the MH370 incident and the videos. I think that Glenn Beck would be great because he's somebody that is pretty high profile. And if my options, if I'm going to do a debate about the plane, I don't think it gets any better than that. I don't want to debate Mick West. He's an idiot. His cultists are morons. Debating any of them just elevates them. Like the ones that are attacking me all over Twitter and what have you. You guys have probably seen them. There's no point debating them. First of all, they're too stupid. Second of all, like I don't want to elevate any of them. It's better to be going after somebody who's higher up. And then even the experts, like the MH370 experts, like most of them are kind of clown shoes as well. Like you guys saw that Larry Vance guy on Ross Coulthart's reality check. Like that guy's not going to last even 5 minutes with me. I mean, this guy just thinks he divined exactly what happened to the plane based on a ripped flapper on. You know, I think that, and I don't want to debate somebody like Florence DeChangi because I respect her too much. So the next best thing is we just get it to a biggest audience. And even if he doesn't take it seriously, you know, I make it sort of serious. You know, I ask serious questions. And that way I think that even if a lot of people don't believe it, because I went through and I looked at some of the comments on the Pat Unleashed, which is the Blaze, which is the same channel that Glenn Beck's on. A lot of people are really skeptical, you know, and a lot of people too, just kind of rude. But you got to realize that there's going to be a significant percentage of people that are never going to believe the MH370 videos to be real. And then while I'm talking about it, I'm going to show it. What the, is that euros? What is that? Is that a currency? That's a lot of money. Wow. Thank you very much. Even though I'm, you know, just by having super chats on, like people are criticizing me, saying that I'm grifting people just because I have super chats on. So I'm going to say my thing again, which is that if you need your money, please don't donate to me. I appreciate it. But at the moment, it's like I don't really need, you know, donations. You know, but of course, if you want to donate and help out, I appreciate it, and I will put it to good use to trying to get the truth for these videos and the families and you know, the technology. You know, so yeah, thank you very much. I think it's a good time to be alive. And then the other thing too is like you may say, well, by talking, and this is for Glenn Beck. So if he wants to study up on the videos right here, we're going to show them while we talk about it. Oh crap! I just lost my train of thought. So yeah, by talking, people may say, okay, by talking about it, like, what if he cancels out? Okay, that's fine. If he's going to cower out of it now after already wanting to try to make a mockery of it, I think it just shows the strength of the videos. Because at this point, I basically said, go do your homework. And if he goes and does his homework and looks at this and thinks he's going to debunk it, I can predict every single thing that he'll say. He may go after like the corridor cruise stuff. So I'll just have every single argument ready to go against the debunks. In fact, I was already preparing on making a rebunk video that addresses all of the debunks as well. And then he'll probably say, like, we can literally predict his thoughts. Like, I wouldn't want to embarrass him, but I could tell Glenn Beck, you know, like, and this goes for all the debunkers out there as well. You know, I could say, you're going to say that the ocean's really big. And he'll go, yeah, well, it is really big. Like, you know, John Greenwald, like, that's just full NPC. Like, that's just straight up, this is the script you were told to think. And I can also then say, okay, well, you know, it is really big, but the plane ran out of fuel and they have these satellite pings that they claim they know exactly the arc on which it was on. And we searched the whole arc. So point on the map where you think the plane crashed exactly, where you think that somehow we wouldn't have seen a debris field from a 777, as well as that's consistent with where the debris washed up in Africa. And so, like, I'll just be ready to go with pretty much every counter argument for anything that Glenn Beck's going to say. So if he were to, like, you know, for lack of a better word, like, cowered out at this point, you know, it would just look good for me in general. So that's the reason why I'm bringing it up, because I think this is also a good opportunity for the debunkers, where the debunkers can go chat with Glenn Beck. They can side with Glenn Beck, especially the ones that are super hyper liberal. That'll be really awkward for them. My guess is they'll take this narrative of like, oh, well, he got something right. But it'll be pretty funny if they want to be on his side and then just like completely forsake their prior programming. And then they can also feed him lines, right? Because they'll be like, hey, here's these debunks. Someone filed this cloud picture. And Glenn Beck will have no idea that I'll just be like, okay, yeah, well, I've already got the best debunk for that. I'll just say, like, how long, if I give you 20 minutes, Glenn Beck, could you go find that cloud picture on the internet right now? He'll be like, no chance. And so, like, you know, even if the Redditors were like to try to help him out or whatever, like that'll just trap him in just getting completely destroyed in the debate. And then if he, you know, responds and goes down to like what they do, which it just becomes like personal attacks, or you must be crazy to think that this is possible. Then I just start talking about the science. So then I can just literally just say, yeah, we have an ether. There's extra dimensions, what we need to be able to explain dark energy. And it's kind of silly that we didn't already figure it out because Tesla had figured it out 100 years ago. Kaluza-Klein theory back in 1919 had it figured out as well. It's not like I'm discovering anything new. And you know, if he were to even bring physicists on board or even study the science, which I doubt, but he would find out that all checks out. So that's, and then we could even talk about like Maxwell and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think I'm ready for the Glenn Beck debate, guys. What do you guys think? Oh, definitely. On the topic or to platform you? No, he wants. I think. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. I'm not the arbiter of what Glenn Beck does. Also, Wang, thank you very much. Glenn Beck is usually open-minded. Just remember to treat people how you would want to be treated. It broke my heart to see Jay Dory treat you with such disdain. Yeah, no, I'm not going to come at him. So, and my thing too, like I'm literally just streaming what my strategy is right now. This is my honest strategy. I'm literally telling him the answers to the first few questions of the debate right now, live on stream. Is I always just fight to the level of the opponent, you know, like if, you know, if he wants to get personal or whatever, we can do that too. Like I'll look up some stuff about him as well, just to have like, you know, if he wants to make it personal, I'll be able to just kind of counter that as well. Which I don't think will be hard for Glenn Beck. No disrespect. I think he's a good guy. But I don't think he'll do that. Hopefully that's not how he takes it. My guess is that the way most people, it's just ridicule, right? It's ridicule. They want to say like, oh, this is just so silly. You must be crazy to believe this is possible. But they don't have active duty Navy engineers in their corner or DoD contractors that work at private labs. And that's the difference between people that want to ridicule it and the people that actually know how the science works. And we have the scientific papers to go along with it as well. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not backing down. I was never backing down. I wasn't backing down even for 1 minute. This is honestly me doing this stream about it is a challenge to him now. So it's factual that his people were interested in setting up a debate, and I'm not running away from it. I think that's going to be a great opportunity to get the information out there, guys. So part of what I want to do today is go over that. I also want to give some other kind of, you know, break the fourth wall updates regarding what I've been kind of working on and what's coming out. And then we are going to, after that, dig into a little bit of the science and probably update the evidence list. I think we're going to update the evidence list a little bit and just make sure that it's up to date so that if people want to look at it, that they can get the most accurate information, because we've had a lot of stuff happen recently. So this is mostly going to be an MH370 stream. And then we might do a little bit of science as well later on. Because if you guys saw from my Twitter, I did find, or somebody sent me, and I apologize if I don't credit you when you send me like links and stuff like that. I get way too many DMs and links. But if you want, you know, credit, you can reply in there and say, hey, I found this or whatever. I appreciate it. It was an ATIP document that has a bunch of scientific papers in it. And let me just pull it up, actually. Here it is. It's just easier to show sometimes, chat. Okay, there we go. So this was in some kind of ATIP document, which I don't really know or care about what ATIP's all about, but this does have a list of 25 scientific papers. So the first thing I noticed was the warp drive, dark energy, and manipulation of extra dimensions, which this paper we reviewed on Monday, and also last week as well, because that's probably the holy grail in all of this. Like that paper basically argues for these videos being real. Pretty incredible. I didn't think that we would find something like that that was so on point. It even actually talks about using a laser to create like a gravitational well. They say dark energy. I called it dark energy laser. People might, rip me on that a little bit, but that's fine. Dark energy laser sounds badass. And really, we're just talking about a situation where the laser is creating a gravity well in front of it. Wang Wang, thank you for the donation. Have you spoken to Tucker Carlson? No, I've not spoken to Tucker Carlson. But this, I think, if we could show up for the Glenn Beck debate and have a decent number of people still think that this is possible, then I think that would open the door to someone like Tucker Carlson. And I also think that Joe Rogan would probably think again as well. He's been doing a lot of interviews, Joe Rogan has, with people that are, on a lot of the same topics. Especially when it comes to like kind of what the technology, quantum mechanics type stuff, old history. So I definitely think that Joe Rogan's got in the back of his mind. And if not, he should, which is like, wait, how crazy is the technology that's in? Like, can we actually like teleport an object, warp an object? Because it actually does. If he thinks about it, and if everybody else thinks about it out there, it explains UFOlogy also. So this segues into, let me actually finish looking or showing that for you guys. Okay, so, oh boy, I need to fix some of these up. Okay, so this document here, the first page of this document has a bunch of other papers that I highlighted the ones I thought were interesting. The other ones are interesting too, but, advanced space propulsion based in a vacuum. Okay, the reason why that's interesting is got Hal Puthoff. So probably going to take a look at that one. I don't think I've read that one yet. It might be on like one of my links in the background here. Traversable wormholes, stargates, and negative energy. Now, this is the one by Eric Davis that a lot of people are familiar with. And it's got like the picture of the portal with the dinosaur. I think John Oliver, guy's an idiot. I think he made fun of that one, which kind of shows that these people like generally still don't take this stuff seriously. What I'm saying is you probably should start taking it very seriously. The next one, high frequency gravitational wave communications. Now, the traversable wormholes stargates one, that's different than the teleportation one. So we probably will take another look at that one. High frequency gravitational wave communications by Bob Baker. Robert Baker is also known as Bob Baker. This guy is basically a legend when it comes to government engineers as well. Like if you're on this list, like people are probably going to remember you in the future because these people are the people who are like actually putting the science out there and the whole world's just straight up ignoring it. Because these people are like literally work with the government. They're the scientists who are in the know. The only question is which one of them are lying about it and which other ones are like, don't want to talk about it because they have no incentive to, because they're getting paid millions of dollars. And it would not surprise me at all if these people are getting paid literally millions of dollars. So who else? Then the next one we have is role of superconductors in gravity research. So that's something we're probably going to get to at the end here as well. So we might even start with that one. I'm just going to write this down. And now I don't recognize George Hathaway, but I'm guessing I'm going to learn his name pretty quick because this is very consistent with, I'm struggling to talk tonight, the Ning Lee as well. What can we do to help you? We got your back. The only thing you can do to help me is just, I don't know, keep sharing the content, talking about it, making sure that the word gets out. Quick side note. So if you are one of these people, a lot of people are out there, they want to share the information with people, especially out there who are, talking to their friends and family. Just be cautious about it. Like, yes, you should and want to talk about this type of stuff, but you got to ease people into it. There's a real ontological shock where people are immediately going to just dismiss you because it can't possibly be real from multiple aspects. For number one, the idea that the government would steal an airplane, cover it up, lie to the world. That's already too much for a lot of people. And then that's before we even get to the orbs that are floating, creating their own gravity wells in front of them and literally warping a plane consistent with Tesla being right. Because you get to that part and now people are like, wait, no, I was lied to by school. Like our government is potentially even writing the textbooks to lie to us. Answer is yes. So if you're talking to people out there, ease them into the idea. Don't just drop it on them. And if they are against it, don't be argumentative about it. It's like the situation here is we're trying to raise people's collective conscious. And we need to raise it to a point where they can realize this stuff is real. I think this is exactly what a lot of the controlled disclosure is trying to do. So thanks everybody out there. Just remember that, please. Appreciate it. Now, back to the paper here as well. The high frequency gravitational wave communications is also, that might be faster than light communication. And that's very similar to high frequency gravitational wave generator that we've seen from Salvatore Pais, which has got millions of views on social media. So we're probably going to take a look at that as well. And the role of superconductors, this is where we talk about Ning Li and Potklinov. Oh, I think I said his name correctly. As well as potentially people like Amy Eskridge, where we try to figure out, like, okay, did these people figure out at least one way of anti-gravity, and which one is the one that will kind of allow us to get those energy densities that we're trying to get in order for the medium space-time to get nonlinear, which is what we see when we break the Schwinger limit. So another thing I want to say right after we look at this here too is anti-gravity for aerospace applications. That's another one by Eric Davis. So that one, my guess is we're gonna learn the applications of some of this that he's been talking about, and we should take that very seriously. I think that Eric Davis definitely knows what's going on, but I think he's just lying about it. Sorry, I'm being kind of distracted. Okay, so the next thing I want to explain is science related. So we have proposed the idea of the ether, which has already been out there. I'm going to just repeat that, sorry. So the next thing I want to talk about is something science related here. We've already proposed the idea of the ether. We have seen it in one of those papers that we were just looking at about dark energy and warp drive, things like that, that it's potentially a source of unlimited negative energy. So the idea here is that if we rip through the ether, or through space-time, we get to the ether. This is why we don't see it. We don't see it all around us because it's the canvas in which our reality is painted on. But if we strip that paint away, we can see it. But think of it like this, is that it kind of is self-correcting, or what's the word for it? Self-organizing. It's self-organizing. And so when it's self-organizing, what happens is the moment we rip through it, it immediately comes and closes back up. So we have to try to keep it open. This is the idea of that wormhole and that negative energy. So we are trying to achieve a point where we can hit it and we can open it up. And now we have unlimited speed. It's like you're playing a game and you've got, all of a sudden you get the super speed boost, and then you super speed, and now you're just immediately somewhere else. So we only need to keep it open for a little short period of time, and we need to put a thin bubble around it. It's like when you blow a bubble, the bubble's not really thick. The bubble's really thin. And that reduces the amount of energy that we need in order for warp drive to exist. Okay, good. Now, with that being said, I want to talk about some other stuff that I've been working on. So first thing is Christian of the Big Things. I think that should be dropping already or right now, if not. So if somebody in there can check out Christian of the Big Things podcast and tell me if that interview already dropped, because if it did, I want to go ahead and I want to post that. And if you guys have any good clips from it, let me know, and I will give me the timestamps and I'll post it on social media. I think it was a really good conversation. I think it was about an hour, maybe a little bit more. So I actually addressed like all the debunks in the Christian Big Things interview. That's one of the things we asked about is, whether or not people think it's fake, what have you. So I believe I addressed all of them there. At this point, just to clear it up for people, let's address the debunks. And I'm not even going to go through all of them. I'm just going to explain high level here. So first, the cloud debunk. In order for you to even begin to think the cloud debunk is legitimate, you have to believe that a brand new Reddit account within 20 minutes was able to look through the millions of cloud pictures on the internet and somehow identify the cloud picture that after you stretch the clouds, realign the clouds, and stitch them together, that it fits in the MH370 video. So that's the first hurdle. After you get through the first hurdle, then you have to explain how somebody used a 2D static cloud picture to create 3D evolving and moving clouds with a 3D lighting on it. There was a Redditor, I think yesterday, that it almost got sad, where they were trying to actually literally figure out how to do the lighting in After Effects and a 2D software in order to try to get accurate 3D lighting. It just goes to show some people, They just can't accept basic facts. So, and then after that, you have to figure out in the cloud picture how we have two different videos from two completely different perspectives. So we have one like this and we have one like this, and you can see the same clouds when you line them up. So we're not looking at a 2D cloud picture in any of this. You need a full 3D rendered environment for that. That's a lot of work for 2014 for some random board person. So that's your cloud debunk. And then after that, you have to deal with the VFX debunk. Okay, well, the VFX debunk is one of the easiest ones out there. 3 debunks that are out there all come from Mick West. Mick West came up with the Pyromania VFX debunk. He's the first one to post it April 19th after a one-day-old Reddit account finds it. And he's the one who has recently admitted that it actually does not match. The argument that they are making, that they are asserting, is that somebody modified it to make it look like an endothermic event, changed up all the frames, touched up and pixelated every pixel to make it match to what we see there. And we know that this is true because we found this in 4 major media, and the asset has never been adjusted. They've never even changed the color on the asset. It's always been an explosion. It's not even the same kind of event. So if they believe that somebody modified it, the VFX, then why has nobody produced a list of steps to make it into a 100% match? I mean, supposedly if some lazy person was just switching around saying, oh, let's change this to an endothermic event, you'd be able to easily figure out the steps that they did in order to turn it into that, right? You have the software. So go ahead and make a list of the steps. Let us know so that we can recreate it to make it into a 100% match, pixel perfect match. Should be simple. And then the last debunk is the jittery contrails debunk. Now, the jittery contrails debunk is that's probably the weakest one out of all of them. And again, comes from Mick West again. He was told by experts that that's not that the way that looks is normal, and he completely ignored them. Somebody that is literally either an engineer or pilot or somebody that worked on those cameras. And then he just ignored that person. So then he kept pushing this idea, like we had already told him months and months and months ago back in November, that it was a situation where the background, the smoke trails are blue in the video, and it was the stabilization software was actually connecting it to the background, and that's why when he stabilized it, it falsely made it look like the smoke trails were not lined up with the plane. They are, and to prove that, somebody actually turned it into black and white. I think it was Krombopolis Michael turned it into black and white, and then showed and did the stabilization software and showed that the jitteriness completely went away. So that proved 100%, no doubt whatsoever, no argument, honestly, that the jittery contrails debunk was falsified by Mick West, completely falsified. So that makes him a liar, objectively speaking. People should use that against him, because you shouldn't be falsifying fake debunks things and claiming that's 100% proof and that's all you need, which he did multiple times. We have him on record saying that. And then especially not apologizing afterwards and admitting you were wrong. Like, that's just straight up pussy behavior. Like, anybody who looks up to Mick West, like, you have the worst hero ever. He's literally probably the #1 grifter on the entire planet, which is ironic because people call me a grifter. And he has a literal cult of weirdo, like mentally ill people that follow him around. And he's fabricated multiple fake debunks. And why is he connected to 2, like directly connected to 2 fake debunks, the Pyromania VFX, and he's also connected to the jittery contrails. And the Pyromania one was actually used to stop the conversation on Reddit. Now, the last part about it as well is that he's actually connected to the Philip Wood debunk as well. Do you guys know that? The Philip Wood exit picture that's black, Mick West is the one that debunked that picture. That's not even a UFO thing. He also debunked that on Metabunk. I found his post. I have his records. Guys, I always have the receipts, by the way. And he made 7 points against it, saying that it wasn't consistent with a Picasso iPhone 5 picture. And then I found a technical analysis that actually proves that it is 100% consistent with a Picasso iPhone picture. You can find this on my Twitter. If you guys go and search back for what would be the best search term? Probably Philip Wood. If you search for Philip Wood in my posts, you will find this back from probably September or October, where I found that analysis. And so Mick West might have actually covered up a literal kidnapping. Imagine like you've been kidnapped and you send a message out saying, help me, help me, help me to the world. and then somebody debunks your thing, say, no, that wasn't a real person, ignore that, and lies about it. And all he was left with in his argument was that it's easy to modify EXIF data because the Philip Wood picture has coordinates in it that indicate Diego Garcia military base. Spicy, guys. How is it that one guy's got 3 debunks related to a missing plane? To me, that's extremely suspicious. I don't know about you guys. The same guy has 3 different debunks related to a missing plane. One doesn't have anything to do with the videos at all, just completely incidentally connected to MH370, where he's potentially covering up a criminal activity. Pretty scary, man. And that was from years ago, well before all this. Mick West has been connected to MH370 for years. Scary stuff, man. So the other thing I want to address here as well is that Mick West is also connected to all the Redditors that are out there. I'm going to shift gears for 1 second. We'll go back to that actually. Is that I also talked with Ian Carroll. We had an awesome conversation. Ian Carroll and I did yesterday, was it? Yeah, yesterday. So that was the reason why I wasn't streaming. I was chatting with him. I think that is going to be awesome. I didn't know he did long form content. So wherever we post that long form content, just like make that blow up. Like we had such an awesome conversation about a little bit about the videos, but mostly about like the UFO disclosure and what's going on with UFO disclosure. I reviewed the Kona Blue document. We looked at that scientific paper, and actually Ian had read the scientific paper, the warp drives, dark energy, whatever it is. And he had some pretty good, insightful comments on it. I was extremely impressed by him. Ian Carroll is legit, guys. And then at the end, we talked a little bit about what's the nature of the UFO phenomenon. So, is it aliens? What do we think? U.S. government technology, that kind of stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of good shorts and clips that people can make from it. A lot of really good takes on both sides. So make sure you guys check that out, guys. What was I going to say? So yeah, the other thing I was going to say is that he had this software that he uses to take notes, which I might end up using. I think it's called Obsidian. Because one of the things that it lets you do is it lets you put these pictures all over it. And you can kind of like build, like if you were in a crime scene, you can build like who's connected to who. So Ian had this one, spoiler alert for the interview, whenever it drops. He had this one that said Lockheed Martin in the middle. And it had all the boards of directors in Lockheed Martin. And who's on the board of directors? General Joseph F. Dunford. So Joseph F. Dunford is on the board of Lockheed Martin. And Ian had been looking at him because he's in a group of like 4 or 5 people who are like either generals or former military that are all board of directors at Lockheed Martin. And they're in some kind of like special intel committee or something like that with the company. And I was like, holy crap, Ian, like we better say we won't kill ourselves right now. And we really did have to say that because these are people you don't want to mess with. Like we're definitely getting ourselves into a lot of heat right now. This technology being real and them covering it up, which Lockheed Martin definitely has covered it up. Northrop Grumman, all these defense contractors are covering this up. It wouldn't surprise me if they all know. Like that's how wild this is. And yeah, when you're disclosing this, and like the general might have had his nephew. Like if the general, I don't even know for a fact the general has a nephew. So if the general turns out, General Joseph F. Dunford, that he actually has a nephew, then I'd say it's like a 99.9% chance that nephew showed the general the MH370 videos, and that general has seen the MH370 videos. And that he didn't laugh at them like a debunker did. So that's pretty spicy, chat. If anything happens to me, you should definitely go have a chat with General Joseph F. Dunford and ask him about his nephew. Okay. Oh boy, so much drama. Okay, more drama, and then we'll get to some fun stuff here. So Kim Dotcom, formerly known as Kim Dotcom. I don't know what this guy's play is here, but after he got embarrassed on Monday, he just went completely dark. Stopped posting on Twitter. Somebody set up a 3-way DM conversation with us to try to smooth things over. and I basically just told him to kick rocks. I mean, I don't know what this guy's play is, but the play that he should be making is get the hell out of here. And I know people think that we need allies in the MH370 videos. We don't. We really don't. That's the truth. We don't really need big allies. We don't need influencers. We just need people to look at the videos. That's it. We just need people to look at the videos. And it doesn't matter, like, you know, what a lot of these like big name influencer people are. We already have so much engagement as well that, you know, this is not a race for us. So people that are trying to rush us into stuff, you know, no thanks. Like you guys heard the ontological shock. I talked about it. What we talked about earlier in terms of how this impacts people. So it's not the kind of thing that we're trying to immediately wake everybody up. But we are throwing a wrench in this slow disclosure acclimation process that's out there. We're trying to make sure that people realize that, you know, we're going to rip the Band-Aid off as fast as we want to and get this information technology to the people as fast as possible. But Kim Dotcom apparently has connected with the Redditors. I couldn't believe it. But there's one especially, and I mean this literally, mentally needs actual psychiatric treatment person who's been coming at me on Twitter. And I forget what his name is exactly. I think it's T. Powell. And Kim.gov apparently follows him all of a sudden. This is a guy who like literally needs psychological assistance. And Kim.gov is covered as Kim.gov is following him now, which is very unusual. It feels like he realized that he can't get into a public Twitter beef with me. So instead, he's going to try to connect with these like Redditors. And what I say is good luck, man. Good luck, bro. Those are the people you want to be on your side. Good luck, my man. Just like I did with the Glenn Beck stuff before, like I'll even tell you what my strategy is ahead of time, man. That's how confident I am. So in this case, I'm going to tell you, you know, go crazy. Best advice I could ever give Kim.com, Kim.gov, whatever you want to call them at this point, is stop coming at me and don't try to help the people coming at me. And the reason why I say that is because Kim.gov is literally a lifelong career criminal. He has ratted people out to the authorities multiple times, confirmed as well as suspected. He's a guy that only cares about himself, and nobody should trust anything he says. The United States government is literally trying to extradite him for criminal charges related to his massive intellectual property theft on Mega Upload. They actually seized his assets, and that's why he hides and lives in New Zealand. So when I showed that video earlier, that was a real raid on Kim.com's house in New Zealand. They actually raided him. That's how sketchy this guy is. So, and I don't think people realize that. So the first thing that everybody started doing, because I'm an investigator, the moment Kim.gov came after me, is everybody started digging up his past. And it turns out he's got the sketchiest past out there. He's like literally scam people. We're talking credit card scamming. We're talking hacking. Like, dude's just a total piece of shit. So this is why, like, don't come at people who are literally are investigators who are finding out about what's happening to airplanes and able to deduce like very detailed scientific physics about videos that are out there, because it's never going to go well for you, man. Like, never going to go well for you. It doesn't matter if you have 1.5 million followers. Like, you're going to get exposed like in a horrible, not fun way for anybody. And just the same way where like you're connecting with Redditors now. Like, are you going to talk to Mick West next? Like, Mick West eats vanilla ice cream, you know? And then there's some of these other people too. They're like, it's not even worth mentioning them because like, they're just like nobodies in the UFO community that like have failed careers. And now they're just trying to, they're just like, I think most of it's just jealousy, is that they've never had attention. But let's watch the Kim.gov thing one more time. In a world where rich douchebags like Kim.com take advantage. It was actually accidental that I played that one. That wasn't actually even the one I was trying to play. Real raid on Kim.com, guys. That's a real video.
If he's a good boy, gets his allowance. Kim.com has that glowy clairvoyance. Why do you glow so hard? Kim Dotcom, what is hiding in your past? Kim Dotcom stole from Hollywood, insider trading and embezzlement sting. Now he's on Twitter calling scammers with the only thing. The FBI left him a G-string. But when the glow's calling, he shed a tear. Now he's calling other people scammers out of fear. He got empty pockets and heartache from the USA. The government came and took it all away. Empty thought, why do you glow so hard? Empty.com, what is hiding in your past? Empty.com stole from Hollywood, insider trading and embezzlement sting. Now he's on Twitter calling scammers with the only thing. The FBI left him a G-string. Why you go so hard? 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 Why you go so hard?
Kim, don't come at me, bro. Those are my followers. That's less than 1 day's work. Less than 1 day's work. That person might be able to make the MH370 videos. Whew. Amazing work. Amazing work. That's to drop the mic. Okay. I got to recover from that, man. I got to recover from that. That is just brutal, dude. You guys, let's do some work. Okay. I'm going to pull up the evidence review document. Let's go ahead and give Glenn Beck, the debunkers, a quick update. Now, I'm not going to go through everything on this list, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of review the evidence list a little bit, maybe prune up a couple things, hash out some of the stuff with some of our new understanding. If you guys have questions in terms of stuff on the evidence list that you don't know about, you want me to go into more depth on, try to put it in the chat, and I'll let you know. Let me see how I'm going to do this. I'm going to actually export this first. There we go. Okay, sweet. So I'll try to monitor that. Oh, crap. I need to... I just screwed up chat. Hold on. I need to have the other document up. I have too many windows, guys. Oh, here it is. Let me share this real quick. This is the one. Okay, you guys can see that. And this will be good for the people who are relatively new. There's a lot of people that have a lot of questions. So let's hit up the most common questions that people ask right away. How is this MH370 or how? Actually, we'll just go through it here. We'll just go through it. It's not worth trying to go it that way. And I'm actually going to edit it over here in my Google Share Drive as well that I have for you guys. So if you want to follow along, I'll post this link in the chat. By the way, you can only check out my comments that I post if you are on YouTube. So if you're watching over on X, come over to YouTube to take a look at the comments and the evidence links, and I'll throw a Discord invite out in a little bit as well. Also, quick bit of housekeeping. If you are DMing me and stuff, like I can't really respond to DMs anymore. Really, of course, if you're somebody who's doing like a podcast request or whatever, you should DM me. But if it's a situation where like you're just like, especially like random videos and stuff like that, unless it's related somehow to MH370, I'm probably not gonna be able to respond anymore. I just got way too much, unfortunately. So it's not personal if you don't get a response. Okay. The requirements for the videos to understand them and be real. Do we still need this at the top? I'm not sure we even need that, but for a lot of people, it's just a matter of immediately understanding, like, how can we even understand these videos could be possibly real? So the first thing is, of course, what the videos look like. The first one is the 2017 DoD Navy UAP drone videos that showed this dark and black and white FLIR. I think we know now why they only show black and white, because the color ones give way more information away. Look how much we were able to deduce just from the fact that it was color. Because it was color, it showed us the endothermic event that we could see, and we could make out exactly what we were seeing there. So that may be one of the things where, like, they actually changed the color for public consumption so that the public doesn't know. The satellite picture from Trump, this showed us that we have some idea of what, like, technically they're color, but they're like a washed color, which I think is like like maybe like a false color FLIR for our false color IR kind of color picture. But that's very similar to the Trump image that's out there. Maybe I need to post a link to the Trump image. I wonder if I should just add, like, straight up images to this document. Not sure. The advanced physical theories, physics, ER equals EPR. So if we ever talk about the science, then we just bring up Juan Maldacena, ER equals EPR, Leonard Susskind, macroscopic quantum coherence. I think that this can apply to essentially superconductivity is what we're talking about there, is the idea that the electrons are flowing freely. The Lockheed Martin patent, coherent matter wave beam, and then Bose-Einstein condensate, which is really just the difference between fermions and bosons. So people don't know the Trump stuff. Okay, well, maybe I'll post that. That's why I was wondering if people don't know. I might actually just take the image and post it in the document. Okay, so this is the Trump picture. Can I really not make it bigger? Do we have to click on Forbes? We'll click on Forbes because my name is Forbes. Hopefully there's a good picture here. Nope. Nope. Gotta be kidding me right now, man. I mean, is this just like, even Forbes.com is just like looking like garbage right now? Okay. Okay, I'm just going to copy this picture and pull it up somewhere else because this is ridiculous, man. There you go. This right here. So this picture here is from USA 229 or 224, sorry. And this one here, you can see it has the same type of angle. Now, the benefit of this picture here is that you've got this shadow. So they were able to figure out where the sun was. And this was able to help them determine exactly where the satellite would need to be to get this shot. Now, we don't see video here, but the video part is the part that makes you wonder, like, okay, why do we not have video capabilities? You would think we must have video satellite capabilities the moment you think about it. So this is the part where this was the first clue about the SBIRS system. And there might be also a Navy system as well. So we might not even be 100% locked into the SBIRS one. We found out the Naval Ocean Surveillance Satellite has its own constellation. And maybe it's integrated with SBIRS, maybe not. But the NROL 22 in the bottom left is a good indication that that what we're looking at is the SBIRS system. I'm going to post the Trump picture in there. Hold on. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So I posted that on the evidence list. I think I'm going to add some of this stuff in there. LK99, the emergence of superconductivity, room temperature superconductivity. I don't think we necessarily need superconductivity anymore, or room temperature superconductivity, at least from a metamaterial. We don't really need it from a metamaterial anymore, chat. But you know what? I'm just going to share the other one. This is so annoying. I don't think I'm worried about anything on here. There you go. Yeah, we're good. Okay. I could add some more screenshots in here. And then the last one's AI quantum computers. Cloud images do not match sky photos taken 10 minutes later. Yeah, that's probably a good one to add. Put it in my notes here till we get down to that. Yeah, if you guys find anything else to add, you have any thoughts, please put it in the chat as well. I appreciate it. That is really weird. I think he didn't the debunker even point that out in his own pictures and say that there was something that looked weird about them. Make sure that you always emphasize that the Cope Tiger and Cobra Gold had assets in the area. Yeah, I actually FOIA'd them for those assets, so hopefully I'll get a list of what those assets are. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate you, man. Paj, thank you. Keep up the good work. You'll be approved right in the end, respect from the UK. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I think so too. I think so too. The part about, yeah, see 535 of the debunk. Yeah, okay. I appreciate that, man. Thanks, Eve. Appreciate the tip there on that one. That's a really good point. Why is this a shot of the monitor with the image? I don't know what he's saying there. Okay. Oh yeah, I need to clip James O'Keefe as well. Yeah, he didn't really give us much. It was kind of a debate. Like yeah, he got in touch with a CIA person that says CIA runs the world. It's not really going to move the needle. We already know that, unfortunately. What we needed is actionable information, but still good. Can I link the FOIA document from Monday? I don't know what the FOIA document is from Monday. Maybe you're talking about the energy one. It should be in one of my posts if you guys go back and look. Okay, thanks, Eve. Appreciate that. So he even pointed that out. That's actually a really good point that we're going to add to the counter debunker, the rebunk. Appreciate it. Phantom phone calls. Yeah, that's included in here as well. So like if we go on with Glenn Beck, he's going to have to answer why 19 family phone members were able to call their loved ones and signed a joint statement, and that one of them proved it on TV. That's a pretty awkward conversation. That's definitely already in here, so no worries. I don't know who that is. Optical physicist. Okay. Bruce McCabe. I don't know who that is. People ask me to reach out to a lot of people, guys. I'm a really, really busy guy. That's just the state. That's just the state of it at the moment. So if people are interested in the videos and want to talk to me, then they can, ping me or what have you. But otherwise, I'll get to people when I get to them. I don't think we need to go through the evidence on the videos here. We have the Cope Tiger exercises, likely drone deployment locations are Cope Tiger exercises, Car Nicobar or Port Blair. We already have that listed in here. We talk about the satellite coordinates. I think all this stuff is still pretty up to date. Could be LNIT payload as well, I think. Or LINT, I think. See, I don't even know about all these like different signals intelligence. LINT, I think, is another one. It's just using some communication to communicate with all these assets because these are drones or remote controlled. Very important. Old school UFO researcher. I'm done on the UFO community, guys. I'm done with them. No offense. I mean, if the guys who've been following me from the UFO community, I appreciate it, but I don't really want to have anything to do with a lot of those people. I don't think that they have any idea what's going on. Okay. See, Regicide defended the veracity. Drone. Let's see what was it. Have these people you can't get to come into the chat. Ed Lynn. Yeah, the eyewitness reports of the plane flying low. We'll get to that. I'm going to skip past the videos here. Okay, the fake video requirements. I'm going to read these out just in case people are not familiar with them. Unclaimed $150,000 bounty. I'm going to put expired in here so that people know that that's no longer available. I mean, based on a reaction from Kim Dotcom, that's definitely no longer available. Kim Dotcom also lied about the bounty. So I'm going to actually add on here as well so that people can't can't try to make false statements about what the bounty was all about. That was so weird when he lied about it. Hoaxer plus source work. Let's say draft. So the idea is proof, right? They had to bring proof. Hoaxer plus proof of source work. Let's change this around. Okay, so they had like what, 5 months or something like that. Never claimed the bounty. Kind of embarrassing. I mean, somebody could still come forward just because they would want to be a good person. But at this point, I mean, how would they not know about this? So you're gonna have some story about I don't use the internet and didn't see that my videos of that have been going viral for 8 months were on the internet and getting hundreds of millions of views. That's already, you already got a pretty steep hurdle there, especially considering everybody's polarized on this topic, the debunkers and the believers alike. And people are like talking about it with their random family members and stuff like that too. So you either have, unless you think Regicide Anon is the person that made the videos, then you have like 4 days for these videos to get made. And we were still searching in the South China Sea on March 12th. Actually, I think they were starting to search somewhere over the Andaman Sea and the Nicobar Islands, but they were still mostly like the media was still thinking South China Sea at this point. And that's really odd as well, because then the issue there is if Regicide Anon's not lying, you don't have enough time to make the videos, and you don't have no way to know enough details to make the videos accurate like they are. May 19th gives you 72 days, but even 72 days isn't. According to Marvel VFX expert Jeffrey Ford, who's on this list, they would need at least, I think it was 3 to 6 months. Let's say, this is actually should say like 4 to 6 months. I think he said 4 to 6 months, but we can go back to the clip. I'm pretty sure he said 4 to 6 months. So 72 days is not really enough time to create this, and there's a lot of details, including the real volumetric clouds, the cumulus clouds at low altitudes, the 3D accurate zap. Let's change this one a little bit. How to accurately light three-dimensional, let's just say 3D volumetric clouds. Yeah, let's just add that. Because when we look at the cloud picture, I think we're going to put the cloud picture in here as well. I want people to have access to all the evidence so that you guys can post it yourselves. That way I don't have to like always be the one. Wang, thank you very much. What is your ultimate goal? What does it take for you to consider a win? I want the United States government to issue a statement on these videos. I mean, I know the videos are real, but I want the United States government to admit it. And that way, we can get answers for the family. And then once they admit it, then it's a matter of everybody just being pissed off about why they're hiding this technology. Even if they admit these videos are real, that doesn't mean they're going to give us the technology. That's just the first step. So after they admit these videos are real, then I imagine a lot of people will want to talk to me. And at that point, we'll talk about the technology and how the technology works and how we get it out there for people, like regular people. Because I think people should be able to build like their own over Unity devices, for example. And I think they'll be able to. The problem is it's just going to be extremely expensive. It doesn't fit up there. There we go. Let's do it like that. That's good. Okay, so that's proof of 3D clouds. I see Krishley in the chat. Krishley, I saw you struggling. I saw you struggling the other day trying to do the 3D clouds. I feel bad for you. Like, if you're really like that delusional, thinking that like you're going to try to make accurate 3D lighting in a 2D environment, and then you're going to try to use that to debunk, like, that's just sad. That's just sad. So recreate exactly what MH370 would look like. Have that picture. Crap. MH370 thermal, I think is what I called it. There it is. Oh, this is one with the Skyfire logo on it. I don't really want to put the Skyfire logo one on there. I'll show you guys though. I'll just flip this out later on. I got rid of the Skyfire logo because everybody was just hating on Skyfire. Felt bad for them. They don't need to take on all my personal bullshit and drama. But so this is a perfect overlay of the plane over the thermal. So There's some people that say like it's not a 777. What are you talking about, man? It's a 100% perfect overlay of the plane. Some people are just like I think they're just desperate to come up with any answer in their heads. A lot of people are lying and feel like they're just like the word energy vampires comes out a lot because the people are just like trying to suck your energy away, but it doesn't really work on us. Yeah, Skyfire, our friends, Tubacabra has got our back. Got our back. MH370. Huh. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Thermal match. Okay, I got the better one. We'll switch that out. So if anyone says, why is that MH370? You just literally show them this. This is the literal picture, not even just of a different 77. That's like actually MH370. Their turn radius. So the plane has accurate turning in the videos, where the plane would have been at the exact time. So this too, I've seen some of the debunkers try to say, well, they found a news article or a blog that talked about the search moving from the South China Sea to the Nicobar Islands. Yeah, and the fact that they were searching in the Malacca Straits and the Andaman Sea and even the Nicobar Islands does not mean that this person knows to put the plane there. The whole point is that's where later on it turns out the plane actually turned into the South Indian Ocean. Before that, everybody thought the plane just went straight over Indonesia, like that's what a normal person would do. Like, why would you not take a direct route somewhere? It's like, no, I'm going to go fly up over this way, and then I'm going to turn and make a 270-degree cut and go back a completely different direction. And that just happens to be the same location where Catherine T later on, they were able to use like coordinates to figure out exactly where she was. It turns out that's where she was as well. And that's a situation where we have the coordinates in the videos. So unless this person is some kind of psychic that knew about that raw data that wasn't out until May 28th, I mean, to me, that's just smoking gun. So did I not update that on here? No, I didn't. Wow. That needs to be updated. Okay, so the location of the turn in the South Indian Ocean. 9 days, 9+ days. Okay. So know the location of the turn in the South Indian Ocean, 9+ days where the routes was made public as indicated by coordinates. KT's sighting. Cool. So that one right there, honestly, probably should be up at the top. That's fine. Because that's the best. And then the active coordinate shifts too. Like people don't even realize you need to have like a computer system that actually creates the coordinate shifts. The coordinate shifts are accurate to 6 decimal places. And we can see them shifting like really small number shifts through there that are accurate, real accurate coordinate shifts, not just random numbers flipping around on a screen. So like already the list of requirements, in my opinion, already proves the videos are real. Where do we have the Citrix session? Okay, there's a Citrix session. I'm going to move this up. So do I have it anywhere listed that's a screen recording? I don't think I do. Yeah, let's do... Let's do it here. I don't think we really need to explain it. So the mouse comes in off the top right of the screen and then goes off the bottom left, which indicates that we're looking at the screen recording on there. What the weather was like in the Nicobar Islands. I could add more images on some of this. Maybe I'll do that later. I don't want to keep you guys since we're live streaming. How to accurately create the smoke trail from the plane using particles in 2 videos. That's pretty credible. This one's really tough, guys. Like accurate smoke trail, and there's actually diffusion in the smoke trail as well. I think I have a video of that somewhere too. How to animate the heat signature in the belly of the plane, accurate camera shake. So this is the part where the jittery contrails, they fabricated a jittery contrails debunk, which served two purposes, is that they were denying objective reality that the camera shakes accurately because they didn't have an explanation for that. So they fabricated a fake debunk to make it look like the camera shake was actually a debunk with jittery contrails. It's pretty funny. So they're pretty sophisticated in the way they coordinate. And they have, by the way, the debunkers have actually a full Discord where they coordinate attacks on me. And most likely some of them are in communication with Mick West and other chat rooms and things like that. Like that's how these people operate. So if you're not familiar with that, it's very highly coordinated. And it actually is, you could argue, sophisticated from a criminal perspective in the way that they coordinate with one another. I don't really do any of that stuff, by the way. I don't hang around with chat rooms trying to like, figure out ways to bring people down for the most part. I do have one Discord though that does have like, information about people that are, coming at me just to have a record of it. So if I need to save it for later for whatever reason, because honestly, like there's a lot of weirdos out there. Okay, let's keep going. So in addition to all the stuff that we've already mentioned, you'd have to have knowledge of military classified systems that are out there. How and why the crop satellite video. Oh, I did have it right there. Damn it. I missed that before. I actually like this one better, this wording better. Make satellite video. Okay, there we go. Oops. What's going on here? What the satellites that had in operation, because they found USA 229, naval ocean surveillance satellite. Maybe I'll put that in here. Let's see. Any other questions on stuff? If you missed the start, then Glenn Beck, his people reached out for a potential, I'm going to call it a debate. Let's just use adult terms here, a debate over the videos and their authenticity. And I'm all for it. In fact, I'm all for the debunkers chatting with Glenn Beck and trying to sit in his corner and work them up, because I can take them all down in one shot, and it's a great great opportunity to show the world the evidence and see how strong it is, to show that it can even stand up against somebody like Glenn Beck. So I'm all for it, and that's the reason why I'm even talking about it. Because normally, if I were to talk to a podcaster behind the scenes, I don't really talk about it publicly, because usually they'll have all these nut jobs go and talk to them and tell them not to talk to me and all this weird stuff. Multiple people have told me that it's super creepy. But if it's somebody who's going to try to debunk the videos, then who cares? Honestly, I'm calling them out at this point. If Glenn Beck backs out, it should tell you a lot. And we have to expect it too. So people may wonder, well, why would you want to debate somebody that's going to be against the videos? So why would I want to debate somebody against the videos? The answer is that, first of all, I'm not afraid to talk to anybody that's out there. And we have to do it at some point. There are going to be people that are adversarial about the information. You can see how personal a lot of the attacks have been. So we have to debate somebody, and who better than to debate Glenn Beck? I think it's a pretty good get, honestly. And I think that he is a guy that will probably be respectful, even though he'll probably be maybe a little bit indignant, and definitely, in a situation of disbelief regarding the science. But you know what? Maybe we can convert him. Maybe we can convince him that, hey, man, there's something to these videos. So I think it's a good challenge. Even if it's a trap, I think it'll be good, which I don't think it will be, but we'll see. And that's kind of what I told him, is that as long as it's not a situation where they're trying to ambush me with something, like the Danny Jones thing did, then I have no problem with it. If you're going to be dishonest and say that we're taking a break and then keep recording like dirty ass shithead stuff like Danny Jones did, or like having some people like try to get you with a video and then sit there and smile at you the whole time. Of course, they don't show that during the edit, but he's sitting there like smiling about how he's going to have some video come out and it's going to be some dipshit sitting on a couch. As long as you're not doing something like that, I got no problem. Just like tell me up front what the format is going to be, No randomly having random sketch balls with pre-recorded videos that are all, every single thing they say is wrong. But then you still go, but they're an expert. I don't think Glenn Beck will do that. We'll see. Yeah, when you have the truth on your side, you're never afraid either. So honestly, like I don't know how people can think that I'm lying. That part's the weirdest part. Like I think there's some people that actually think that I'm lying. Like just heads up, guys, as well. I'm gonna make a note of this. If anybody out there thinks that I am lying or making anything up, I want to state for the record, objectively, I am not. I have been 100% honest and open. I'm actually probably one of the few people out there that isn't grifting the communities that I've been engaging in and that is actually trying to achieve the truth. And the beauty of knowing the truth's on your side is that you have absolutely nothing to hide. And that's the reason why I stream about everything. I don't keep any secrets. I don't have little secret conversations with people. I just put it all out there in the open and let for the people judge and let the chips land where they may. So when it comes to debates or anything like that, of course, I'm not afraid because everything I'm saying is true. The thing about people that are liars is usually they weave a web of lies where that web of lies ends up becoming an issue. And that's the reason why those people are afraid of debates and talking to people because they're afraid they have to remember what their lies were and they have to stick with them. When you have the truth and the evidence on your side, you're not afraid of anybody. And I'm not afraid of anybody. Okay. Make another little clip there. I'm trying to learn how to do social media better, guys. Yeah, and for the record, for people who have been paying attention to the drama out there, Artisan Tony definitely showed his true colors as well. He's been trolling my replies for weeks. Like just literal old school troll like comments, little smiley faces while, you know, trying to judging you and all this stuff all the time. So I regret promoting this show before where he gets like 100 viewers with 80,000 followers. Because the moment I told him to stop trolling me or I was going to block him, not only did he block me, but then he sent me like a whole paragraph, little manifesto about how he was doing me a favor and he knows who the hoaxer of the videos is and he wanted to give me a option to get out or something like a plan B option. Who talks like that? That sounds exactly like that other nut job guy. I don't even remember what his name was anymore from like a couple weeks ago. Why are these people like so messed up in the head, like obsessed with every single thing I do? And they think that they're like, they've got the secret sauce and they're going to get me. It's like, what is wrong with these people? What the hell? So Tony, Artisan Tony, I would avoid the Pi-Fi show. I would avoid Artisan Tony. I don't know what's wrong with that guy, but he and the rest of these other Redditors or whatever, and their weird made up claims that they do and meltdowns that they have, like, just stay away from me, man. It's uncomfortable, honestly, at this point. Like, just get a real life, man. I don't get it. But that's the part I don't understand is like, why are these people so obsessed with me? Like, just obsessed. You know, like in the UFO community, there's some of these like the lowest life people that like have their careers done nothing. And for some reason, they're like on every single thing that I'm doing. And they're trying to like defame me and incite these riots against me. It's like, whoa, dude. Like get some professional help, bro. Just I'm it's not that you don't need to base your whole life about the stuff that I'm doing. Especially if you're like trying to take me down or whatever. Anyway, sorry we got sidetracked there. So you have to know a bunch of other stuff about the drone, the cameras around the drones. You have to know the engineering aspects. So better VFX skills than the lead VFX expert for Top Gun Maverick, where like the biggest issue you guys got to realize with the planes is scaling it down and getting it to be accurate to how those planes actually fly and operate. So who is this person that not only do they have secret information that the public didn't know about where the plane actually was and somehow guess the right exact location of the plane. They also are better at figuring out how VFX works than actual engineers. And if you look at the recreations, the worst part of all the recreations is always the plane turning. They can never get it right. because actually getting the real capabilities of a plane turning while in descent is super difficult, let alone doing it in 2 different videos. And then, you know, the other part is the story that you have to come up with. Like, how did they come up with this completely original story for what they're going to have the plane look like in these videos while it's a low altitude, got smoke coming out of the back of it? Like, how did they come up with all of this? Like, this is where you have to come up with a storyboard. The people that are recreating the videos, they just are literally copying exactly what they see. Even when you see the debunker yesterday, who couldn't, like, it was embarrassing watching her trying to do 3D lighting on a 2D environment, which is just impossible. But even when you look at their stuff, they're side by side comparing it, and they're trying to get it to match. They just don't realize that, like, the person who was making this originally, if it's a fake, they don't have the benefit of that. It's going to take them like 10 to 100 times longer than it takes somebody who's trying to copy it side by side. You actually have to come up with a script for what you're going to say. Like, you can't just wing it and be like, okay, let's just put some stuff together. It's not how it works. Not when you have 2 videos in perfect synchronization. It takes a lot of effort. And it goes to show that somebody yesterday spent 4 hours yesterday failing, and they couldn't even come remotely close. Couldn't even get the lighting, even when you can have something to literally look at and copy from. They spent 4 hours and didn't even come remotely close to even getting part of one effect on one video. And there's people out there thinking that they can make both videos in an hour or something like that. And the other part too is that they didn't even have the software they're using is current software and current hardware. 10-year-old software and hardware is way different and way slower than the software they have now. So it's just like, even the people who are trying to recreate it is just getting kind of embarrassing, honestly. And the people that think that, oh, I could just make that in 5 minutes, like, they quickly realize that we're talking something much more difficult. Then understanding this scalar physics. So 0-point scalar interferometry is the idea that we are having like this 0-point system where the whole objective is to create that endothermic event. So the way the videos are actually look and work is consistent with real physics that is not necessarily mainstream, but supported by a real government contract or government engineer, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Bearden. And it's a cold explosion, exactly like he described in the 80s. So maybe you could argue this VFX person who's got all these skills also, you know, is also an understudy of Thomas Bearden, and for some reason decided to make his endothermic event consistent with what Thomas Bearden had been talking about, but like more updated and even more impressive than what would have been available in the 80s. I don't know. And then also, they also need to be a low energy nuclear reaction expert as well, because they need to understand what topological monopoles look like before the paper about them in Aalto University was even published, which was 2015. And then I don't know why they keep using 2D visual effects and pictures when you need a full 3D rendered environment. That also just doesn't even make logical sense. Like, if you're a real VFX expert, there's a lot of fake VFX experts out there, especially the debunkers. Like, almost more than half of them are lying. More than half. That's how many of them are lying about their VFX skills. And if you were actually, because if you're honest and you were making a full 3D rendered environment, you're not even considering using 2D visual effects. You're not even considering it. You're literally going to build the 3D rendered environment from scratch. I mean, there may be effects you can use, but you would use 3D effects, because the whole point is you need to get the perfect angles from perfect shots from 2 different angles. You don't try to line up perfect pictures. That's not how any of that works. So anybody who's not at least addressing that with a logical answer is being deceptive and dishonest, which the debunkers are mostly dishonest about. No, they're 100% dishonest about literally everything they say. Which again is just, it's getting embarrassing at this point, especially with all the attention that we've been getting on the MH370 videos, because it does look very desperate. And it looks like they're having like mental issues comprehending the idea that those videos could be real, and that they're just become invested in the idea that they have to prove those wrong. Otherwise, like, their whole world's a lie. But even the last one is probably even one of the most implausible. The hoaxer somehow has to know that we would never find the plane. They have to know how we would never find the plane ever. Like, how did they know that a 3-year plus search wasn't going to find one piece of the plane in the location that they claimed they would be able to find it? They didn't find a single thing. And and that's the reason why that's important, is because the story of the videos tells a story where the plane's journey ends in the Nicobar Islands, not in the South Indian Ocean. So how would they know that? Because if you find even one piece of the plane in the South Indian Ocean that's not in the same location in accordance to these videos, then the whole story falls apart. Just one piece of the plane in the South Indian Ocean. And the people that say, oh, well, they did find the debris. I'm going to skip past the flight path here. The official search did not find one piece of debris above or below water. They had submarines searching for a debris field. If you guys go look at the Titanic debris field, it's huge. Now, of course, the plane's smaller than that, but it still should have debris a mile wide on the ocean floor. Over 80 planes and boats were searching. So when they search in the sky, guys, you can see for like over 100 miles, potentially even up to like 300 miles at cruising altitude. Now, if you're searching, you're flying a lot lower, but you can still see, let's say, tens of miles. So you can probably at least see at 10,000 feet, you can see at least 50 miles. So this idea, when they're searching the sky, they're searching for 50 miles radius around them, and they're going to see a giant debris field. And we had 40 planes and boats searching everywhere. Didn't find one piece of the plane. So how does that debunker know that? So where did the debris come from? The debris shows up in Africa. And I'm going to switch this one up a little bit, which initially blew everybody away. So a lot of people out there are going, well, what about the debris? The funny part is this. Anyone who brings up the debris, guys, and I want you guys to, maybe I'll even clip this as well. Hold on. Anyone who brings up the debris about MH370, you should realize that this is the only story out of everybody's story where the debris is consistent with this story. The people that think the plane was a suicidal pilot, those people believe that you have to follow the Inmarsat pings, which means that this plane crashed somewhere along the 7th arc. But we searched up and down the 7th arc, and they didn't find one piece of the plane. The official search didn't find anything. So you have to ask yourself, where exactly did this plane crash if it was a suicidal pilot? Our scenario, the MH370X1, says this plane ended up in Diego Garcia, which is actually halfway from those crash sites in Australia to the Reunion Islands in Africa. It's much simpler for that debris to have been put into the water or ended up in the water near the Maldives or Diego Garcia. It's actually impossible for the engine cowling from Rolls-Royce, which is on the list of CNN pieces, to have washed up in Africa 3,000 miles away in the allotted time. Literally impossible. So the question you have to ask yourself is, you believe that debris somehow debunks a story, then you should realize that it actually debunks the suicide story. It debunks the satellite pings. It debunks the narratives out there that mainstream people believe are accurate. It does not debunk the MH370X story. It's the only one that's consistent with it. That was good. Okay. And I'm going to clip that. I'm going to add the CNN picture, because the Rolls-Royce engine cowling is actually on the CNN picture. In fact, I'm going to take that CNN picture. Hold on. One sec. Because people link this, and it's funny because it actually proves them wrong. And I guess they don't realize that I'm the one who links this the most, because it actually proves us correct. Let's see here. Oops. They might be shadow banning me. I don't know, guys. It's all good though. No worries. We're just working on some evidence tonight, preparing for our next debate. And we're waiting for, I think Christian's link should be out there. In fact, I may go retweet it. Maybe I'll wait till after the stream. But make sure you check out the Big Things interview as well. We're just getting more and more interviews on this. And since the debunkers have kind of just lost they've just literally lost their minds, I'm just going to keep pushing it. So as long as they keep pushing it and pushing on me and lying about me and stuff like that, then I'm going to keep pushing the videos. And so when they complain about, like, why is Ashton not retired? You can tell them that it's their own fault. The reason why I haven't necessarily retired from this, I mean, I did technically retire. So the reason why I retired and have come back is because now the debunkers are trying to make the videos go away again. That it got so much attention that now they're getting worried and it's starting to threaten their worldview. So as long as they keep coming at me and lying about me and stuff like that, then I'm going to keep pushing back and keep talking about the videos more and more and more and more and more. So if they say anything about why is Ashton still talking about, just realize they're the reason. And if they were to have stopped, then I don't have to talk about them anymore either, because I'm not in a rush. Like, the science is going to get proven real. This is going to be proven real. What happened to the plane? No rush for me. So whatever they want to do, we want to, keep pushing it more. I can make it more and more and more attention. You want to have me debate Glenn Beck or go on, CNN and talk to Anderson Cooper or whatever. Sure. I'll do that too. Not afraid of anybody. So you can see this is the engine cowling piece right down here in the bottom left. Engine cowling. This washed up in Africa, Mosul Bay, South Africa. You can read it right there. Right there. Highly likely. It's literally a Rolls-Royce engine cowling. You can actually see the RR on it. Like, it's literally 100% a 777 Rolls-Royce engine cowling. So unless it was a different one, that indicates that the plane could not have possibly crashed in the South Indian Ocean. We'll just put engine cowling here. So engine cowling is completely inconsistent. Actually, the flap run is as well. So when you go down to the further parts, our story is consistent with the fire, and we're going to call it warp drive now. Barnacles in the flap run contraindicate the drift analysis. Yeah, we're going to change this. Contraindicate the orientation of, let's say, flapper on recreation, drift recreation. Yeah, that's what we'll say. Flapper on drift recreation not consistent with the barnacle growth on the piece. So the barnacles are on the wrong spot on the flapper on. So it couldn't have actually been consistent with the analysis they did. I spent barnacles wrong here. The barnacles on the flapper on only show 4 months of growth, which is impossible for it to have drifted in 2,000 miles in 4 months. So pretty big. And then people always ask, why was it teleported? Why was it on fire? Where did it go? What happened to the people? Once again, guys, so in a criminal investigation, you can develop a story for what you think happened, but you're generally focused on the evidence. So when you look at this, I'm focused on the evidence of what that is. So everybody wants to be told what to think. Everybody wants to say, why did they do it? Where did they go? What did they do with them? Those are answers that only the perpetrators know the answer to. Only the perpetrator knows exactly why they did it, where they took them, and what they did with them. So I appreciate that people ask me that question. But for the most part, I'm probably going to stop responding to it, because you should come to terms with, based on looking at the evidence, what you think happened. That's what I want people out there to determine. Now, I will say for one more time, though, that I do believe the most consistent explanation for this is a counter-espionage operation by the United States government on China. A show of force. These people were potentially defecting, bringing intellectual property to China that China was going to have access to. And this is why you diverted them. And maybe you're sick and tired of having your intellectual property stolen, and you don't want to allow this particular intellectual property to get stolen, because this can enable the technology we see in the videos. And so you do this show of force to them that only they will understand, because their intelligence community knows this type of technology is real. But our general public has no idea. So it's a really good play. That would make the fire 100% intentional. So the fire is intentional. You divert the plane away from China, where they have their assets, over to the Nicobar Islands, where the United States is having their exercises with Thailand, and the theme that year is search and rescue. Pretty convenient that the theme of the Cope Tiger exercises that year was search and rescue. Okay, now last thing I'll say about the debris on there. There was burn marks on parts of the debris as well. The amount of evidence that people with other stories have to throw out is incredible. In fact, this proves the only story that's consistent with the debris is that the fire scenario. There's literally debris with burn marks on it. And not just like that there was like some explosion, like scorch marks, like heat was on there melting the plastic away. Like that is, and it's not like completely incinerated either. So like that's actual just like high heat temperatures that burn parts of the plane. And the only story that makes sense there is a fire event. The flaperon not matched with unique serial number. They used a part number instead. And then let's see, is this the MRI? Did I have this one wrong? I think this might actually be the MRI. Arwin, if Arwin's in the chat, please let me know if it's the MRI or the MRK is the one that was purchased. There was 2 different planes that were purchased from Malaysian Airlines, but one of them I think is before and one of them was after MH370. So Arwin, if you can let me know, because I mean, it actually may not matter that much as long as the plane was scrapped before like 2015 to have enough time to get thrown in the water later on and found. But the one we want is the one that's October 2013. GA Telesis. How come I don't say where it's from? Exact same model. Neither? Which one is it? One of them was bought in 2013, but I literally have the record of it. I have an actual screenshot. In fact, we'll probably have to put that one up. What is it called? Plane. Let me see if I can find it real quick, chat. I have so much stuff that it actually gets really difficult to find it all now and search back through it. Nah, it's 2013. So I don't know which one. One of the 2 was GA Telesis and it's 2013. We've actually got the receipts. I'm gonna look for it real quick, chat. Shouldn't take more than a minute or 2. God, I have so much stuff. Oh, Flight Spotter, is that what it's called? The website? I think it's called Flight Spotter. We also have pictures of the batteries, which maybe we want to include the pictures of the batteries. So, like the fact that we had Mentor pilots say that there's no issue with the batteries, that was just wild to me. Actual pilot, comfortable with 5,000 pounds of lithium-ion batteries, extremely dangerous, like probably some of the most dangerous cargo to even put in your plane. Tried to play it off like it was just normal. Oh, here it is. Found it. Plane spotters. Yeah. It's 9M MRI. Yeah, I was wrong. Yeah, it's October 2013. No. Arwin, you need to maybe update your evidence on that one. I don't know, but I'm going to post a picture just so you know for sure. 9M MRI. There it is right there. There's absolute proof. It's kind of small. GA Telesis, October 2013, right there. Okay. Okay, so we fixed that one, 9M MRI. It's not the MRK. That's the one. No, doesn't matter. This is, you can just, Arwin, you can just read this. I respect all the stuff you do, but I've got the actual screenshot up here in front of me. Okay, this is the same Google Doc. I'm gonna just work off the one that's a shared Google Doc for you guys. Well, if you don't like Glenn Beck, guys, then you should probably want to watch even more, because he's gonna try to debunk the case. So, you know, that's what I love about it, is people that like him, hate him, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just going to bring more eyeballs. He's actually probably one of the best things I could hope for in terms of debunkers trying to, you know, going up against somebody on a major platform. You know, I don't want to go up against somebody who's like one of these random idiot Redditors, you know, because first of all, they're dumbasses, but it doesn't, like, dunking on one of them on like a major platform Like, let's just say like Rogan were to have me on, but he's like, I want to have somebody that was like against the case. Mick West wouldn't even be fun, because then it's like there's too many people that have like cult of Mick West personality, so like they're not going to listen no matter what. Random Reddit or Twitter person, right? Like you don't even want to elevate them to that level. The best thing that you would want is someone like Glenn Beck, who's not very familiar with the case, who could actually be swayed potentially with the weight of the evidence. That's the best person to kind of like talk with against regarding the case if you're going to have them take an alternative stance. Which I've done like 80 podcasts. I think I should do some where people ask hard questions, but I'm going to be prepared for all of them here. And the nice thing too is like I'm actually just showing. We're showing the opponent, the debate opponent, all of our evidence ahead of time. They can literally read everything, so they can know everything that I'm going to say ahead of time. So there's no excuse whatsoever for somebody to not be prepared. So if they come in and they're not prepared, I go, well, you didn't even read. I made my evidence publicly available so that you could be prepared ahead of time. So it's super embarrassing if they don't have an answer for any of the stuff that I've got on my list here. So I can just go straight through it. And they have no excuse not to know what the questions are going to be. So if they're not prepared, I mean, just embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, I would destroy Mick West on any debate because he's just not a very smart guy. And I would be more prepared than him for sure as well. Like, and his arguments would all be telegraphed, right? Like the thing about debating against somebody who's an NPC, like Mick West is either a disinformation agent or a literal NPC. Just straight up guy that doesn't even have original thoughts, that just reads off the script. I wouldn't even surprise me if the debunks get given to him by people and then he just plays them off as their own, because that's like the level of depth that he understands related to them. And then when people point out the inconsistencies, he just says, no. Like there's debating someone like that is like the easiest thing in the world, because you literally know what their script is and you can just prepare your answers ahead of time. And they're going to have no counter whatsoever. They're just going to say, no. So like that's why it's just kind of embarrassing. That's why I want to talk to somebody like Glenn Beck. I don't know when it's going to potentially happen. Hopefully, probably be in a little bit, maybe not that long. We'll see. Hopefully, I hope some of the people reach out to him and say, yeah, you should definitely debate Ashton. These videos need to go away. We need you to debate him. I kind of want somebody to say that to him, because A, it shows how scared people are about these videos being real. And B, because then it'll definitely happen. So, and if it doesn't happen, then so what? I'll just debate somebody else. So if there is anybody else out there that wants to debate, that is, in major media, Glenn Beck's pretty major media, he's a well-known name, about the videos, that they think that they, know the answer or whatever, or are just interested and want to have a, friendly back and forth debate about the facts. I'm open to it. 100%. Let me know. Yeah, so this TJ, I think, is one of the Redditors. Like, never debating that guy. That guy has like actual mental problems, like real life mental problems. So I'm not going to debate a psychopath, like somebody who just like needs actual psychiatric treatment. I'm going to debate like a normal person, because there's no point. Like, you dunk on a psychopath, it doesn't elevate you at all. People just go, well, of course he destroyed this psychopath in the debate. The guy had mental issues. Like, he was unstable and he's been stalking Ashton. I'm definitely not debating like a stalker, guys. So any of these people that are like defaming me, you're never going to get a debate. That's never happening, because you need serious help. But again, so if you can find somebody that is like, either Glenn Beck or someone who's like him, I think like Bill Maher would be like the liberal version of Glenn Beck, someone like that. Be happy to do that. Yeah, when you argue with a fool, there are two fools. So that's the reason, guys. Is it possible that we have radar in the drone video? You mean that they caught the drone on radar? Yeah, it's definitely possible. But none of the radars have been released. And Malaysia's radar is really weird, where it's just like, this is where we last saw it. Oh, okay, cool. So can we see like the whole radar and what was around that night? No. There's let's see, like a fort or a base called Buttersworth that's right there, actually right next to Penang. I remember I talked to Florence about this, and she's like, yeah, there's no way that they wouldn't have tracked any other assets or anything over there. There's this base called Buttersworth that would have 100% seen and been tracking the plane. They're not going to let a rogue 777 fly over a military base. So pretty wild. Yeah, Tucker as well. I mean, of course, guys, like, yes, of course. Big people like Tucker Carlson would, of course, be good to talk to. And I don't even mind if it's going to be controversial, the debate. I don't even mind it. So as long as I know ahead of time. Now, let's see. Did we get the other... Yeah, so I mentioned the satellite coordinate thing twice. I think it's good to have it there because it also explains why it's MH370. People wonder, like, actually wonder why this is the plane, even though it's a perfect match to a 777 and a perfect overlay of the actual plane. There's no other missing 777s. But the actual location of the coordinates makes it no doubt. The fact that it's in the Nicobar Islands at the location where the plane turned around the coast of Indonesia is absolute proof that's MH370 in those videos. There's just no denying it. So there's even some debunker people that can't even accept that it's MH370. I mean, that's the most basic, most obvious thing. There's not even a debate to be had about it. It's clearly MH370. Let's see. Yeah, the United States government, we might even change this. Well, that's fine. We'll leave that there. USA 229, where is it? I'm going to put USA 229 in parentheses here because we know the satellite was at the location, able to film that event with sensor data. And we found from the Naval Ocean Surveillance Satellite, what was that link that I posted the other day? That Diego Garcia, actually, they have a setup for the Naval Ocean Surveillance Satellite. And the whole point of it is to track and surveil objects, boats, and planes. So there's no way that it couldn't have seen the plane 100%. So we absolutely can prove beyond any doubt, even without the videos, that the United States knows what happened to the plane and that they tracked it. We can prove that without any doubt. Now, May 22nd. I might need to find that link, guys. Someone may have to find the Regicide. They said, watch this, the Twitter link, Regicide, Twitter. Watch this before it's deleted. Actually, what I'll do is I'll take this. There's actually keywords indicating MH370 in the video. It says Malaysian. It says Flight 370. Okay, that's actually probably good enough. Tagged. Hashtag MH370. That's actually the reason why we use the hashtag MH370 is because Regicide Anon posted in there. Okay, what other questions do you guys want to talk about? I probably only want to go for another 15 minutes or so. Pretty tired. Yeah, guys, I don't decide which shows I go on, actually. So any shows that are out there, I've probably been considered for them. Any of the major ones that you know about, I've already probably been considered. So when you think of like Lex Friedman, Sean Ryan, Joe Rogan, I've had communications with those people before. I won't elaborate on how long or how much. And although I don't know for a fact, other than for Joe Rogan, which is all public information about the Jeremy Corbell thing that he said, I don't know the exact reasons why the other people wouldn't want to talk about it. I don't know, though. My guess, though, would be that they probably just think that it's impossible to believe. It's too much of a conspiracy for even people like Sean Ryan. Now, when the videos do get proven to be real and the science ends up checking out, that's when I think Lex Friedman will want to talk about it, because Lex Friedman's more of like, what's the implications of this on the world type stuff. Like, what's the implications of free energy? Which I'm happy to give my opinions on that. And I think it would be good to have a science discussion with Lex Friedman about the ether and why the ether is real and how it explains dark energy, kind of packs that up into a nice bow, explains how we can warp an object, manipulate anti-gravity, etc. Let's see. Yeah, Elon Musk probably knows about this. Like, more and more, I'm thinking Elon Musk might know about these videos and the technology, which would break my heart if he's been hiding this. Because he's a guy who wants to go to Mars or whatever. So the idea that Elon Musk would be like hiding anti-gravitational technology, gravity manipulation, space-time manipulation, that would honestly just crush me. So hopefully he's not. I appreciate it. I really hope he's not. What do I think about Jeremy Corbell's authenticity as a UFOologist? I think his heart's in the right place. I think Jeremy Corbell's heart's in the right place, but I don't know. I don't know enough about his past and his history. But definitely seems like he is convinced the United States government is hiding aliens, and that's what he wants to be out there. I don't think Jeremy Corbell knows enough about the science to be able to judge whether or not the technology we're seeing could be our technology or alien technology. And like many people, they look at something they don't understand and they think that has to be aliens. But if you were to look at a phone like this, you would, 50 years ago, you would say that must be aliens too, probably. You'd say that can't be possible. How can you do that? How can you make a device that small that can do all that stuff that your phone can do? And so it's really a matter of understanding how far ahead the military industrial complex is, which seems like it's decades, many decades. People could traditionally thought it was 20 years. But this type of technology, I think, wouldn't get leaked out to the public for 50 or 100 years. I mean, it may even be that we die before this technology even comes out, if this technology is allowed to remain to be hidden. There's just no safe way to disclose it, in my opinion. It would crush the industry if the technology was real, for sure. Seeing if there's any other questions before we go back to the evidence here. Sassy, I love Sassy. You Redditors are showing your true ignorance. Yeah, the CIA. So the James O'Keefe thing. I'm gonna have to snip that later. I think it was about 1 hour, 45 minutes into his thing. I got up onto the speaker panel and I asked him what he thought the CIA was withholding from Donald Trump. Guys, the reason why I asked that is because this kind of technology, and I said, could they be hiding, or I think that they're hiding weapons that are beyond people's comprehension. And that would be the type of thing that I imagine the CIA would hide from the president and the intelligence community, not just the CIA. But that I don't think Kim Dotcom is trying to ride my relevance. He has 15 times more followers than I do, and I have a lot. So no, I don't think that's it. I think Kim Dotcom, somebody talked to Kim Dotcom. That's what I think for sure. That's the only story that makes sense for Kim Dotcom to come out of the woodwork 5 months later, start lying about me to 1.5 million people. We caught him in 4K. We had 14,000 people watching while Kim Dotcom was making up objectively fake statements while I literally posted the DMs that proved that Kim Dotcom was lying. Literally proved it. So, yeah. So I don't know what his deal is. But thank you for another donation, guys. APK345, where did you see the video? Oh, did you see the video of flying over Spain? Yeah, so a lot of people pointed this out. I have seen it, guys. I've actually probably posted it in the past, but it was probably back in September, I want to say. And this is the part where it's like, here's my opinion on it, is that I don't know if I should repost stuff like that I've already posted before. I've posted it. It's out there. I guess I could retweet my old post or something related to when some of these videos come up, because people find there's more videos too. I know of like 3 different videos that have like triangle orbs, very, very similar to this. And I don't know if I should repost them. Plus, I just don't need to. Like, we don't need it for the case. The point of posting that kind of stuff is just so people can see that these types of anomalies have been out there and are potentially still out there, and they're very similar to what we see in the MH370 videos. But it doesn't really advance the case in a tangible, credible way. Because I think that you have to already come to terms with the fact that we have this crazy advanced technology that can warp a plane. And if you think that we have that, then there being some floaty orbs that are consistent with plasma is totally already fine. You already are cool with that. But here, I'll go pull it up. I think, wasn't it Ken that posted it? I think it was Ken. So Ken Staubin. K Staubin, right? Here he is. Okay. Sorry. Here we go. I guess we're not going to talk too much about science today. So we'll probably talk tomorrow about science, but Ken's been on point. One of the things that he did here was he showed, and we already have like a picture where the drone is, but he showed that the drone is actually just cropped out of view here. I mean, he doesn't take a lot to figure this out, but you can tell from the angle of the smoke here that this drone is just out of screen on the satellite video. So yeah, and here's actually he did another follow up with it. So you can actually see, and you can actually even tell the direction the drone is looking as well. Now the camera can be tracked to follow the plane. But this is super bizarre for this to be faked in your video. Where's the thing that he did? And he's got a very similar story that he thinks happened to mine, but significantly different enough. And I don't want to be there it is. I don't want to be kind of mixing my story up with other people. I want to stay independent on it. I think that the more independent stories that we have, the more likely it is we'll get the truth, which is all I want anyway. And this is why, like, one last thing I'll say on the debunkers, I'll go back to that picture, that video, is that if you read my message today, the debunkers aren't trying to solve this case. They don't care at all about the families of MH370 or what happened to the plane. The debunker's only purpose is to try to make the videos go away and to try to get people to stop listening to me. That's their only purpose. That's why they're defaming me. That's why they're spreading lies and stuff like that about me and about the videos. Is you'll never see them trying to solve what happened to the plane. You're never going to see that. And that's one of the things I first noticed on Reddit, on the debunker subreddit, is none of them, not a single one of them, was trying to solve what happened to the plane. None of them were looking into trying to figure out how the plane, like the old evidence around the plane. The only thing that they were trying to do is trying to disprove my story and try to get people to stop talking to me and stop looking at my evidence and I put us another, which tells me that we're probably right over the target. Tells me that we probably have got the story down like 100%. Because that means there's no wiggle room for them to come up with a story. So when and if you do see the debunkers lying, the only thing you should ask them is, what do they think happened to the plane? This is how you push back on it. This is how you expose them, is you ask them, what do they think happened to the plane? And they won't put their ideas forward because they know that their ideas don't have any evidentiary support. And if they were to hold themselves to their own standard, that their whole story would fall apart. So if they say that this pilot suicide, there's literally no evidence of pilot suicide. It actually takes a bigger conspiracy for there to be a pilot suicide story than to hide this technology. Funny enough is that the story of the video, the fire and the videos being, the plane being literally warped, actually has infinitely more evidence than a pilot suicide narrative, which has none at all. So let's go back to this. Literally no evidence whatsoever of suicidal intent. No evidence in the flight path of his suicide. Literally no evidence whatsoever of suicide. They didn't even find the plane. So this one here, you can see these orbs are in a very similar orientation right here. And the reason why this is actually compelling, I think, is the idea that if we have this plasma balls that we can create this diamond shape in, then you could see, like, maybe we do it other times too. Maybe we don't always warp a plane. Maybe this was with the plane coming out somewhere else, although probably not, because in this one you're looking at contrails here, because this plane's much higher than the MH370 video. Let's see what else we got. Ashton Forbes for president. And no, I don't want to be president, man. President is a job where you are just, you're a puppet on a string. Yeah, do you think Mick West talked to Kim Dotcom? How embarrassing would that be? If we can prove that Mick West talked to Kim Dotcom, like that would just destroy Kim Dotcom's credibility. Let me switch over to my other screen. I don't even know what WeChat is, guys. So sorry about that. Also, one more thing I want to address. This is probably gonna be the last thing that you can clip for tonight that we'll post, or I'll clip. Oh, I already forgot what I was going to say. Damn it. What was it? Oh, yeah. So people think that I might be a CIA agent or distraction or whatever else people think, some government operative and disinformation agent. Those make no sense whatsoever. Disinformation agent. First of all, I'm not a CIA agent or disinformation. I've been no contact with the government whatsoever regarding anything related to this case ever. I wish. That's not true. AARO, I guess, and a couple times I called the FBI. Usually, I don't think CIA agents call the FBI to report their own country for the largest criminal conspiracy in the history of the world and cover up in the history of the world. I don't think they generally report their evidence to AARO. Generally, I don't think they go on a bunch of podcasts and have a huge list of evidence and don't tell anyone to believe what they say, but say just to review the evidence instead. That's not what disinformation does, and there's nothing to distract from. The UFO community is completely useless, and they've done basically nothing for the last 30 years. They've accomplished essentially zero. They had UAP hearings that got nothing done. That was just telling stories where nobody showed any evidence whatsoever. And that's not going to get us anywhere. If we have more UAP hearings and we put up people like this Jason Sands guy that is talking about telepathically communicating with blue aliens, it's going to destroy the UFO community's credibility. So what I'm doing here is the exact opposite of distraction. There's nothing to distract from that's going on in the UFO community. And if anything, the UFO community needs credibility because it has literally zero credibility right now whatsoever. They need people who are actually talking about the science and explaining the science, that are bringing videos that have real world evidence along with them that can be actually shown in court. And you can subpoena real people and have them come and give their witness testimony. That's what the UFO community needs. Chat, we got a lot of clips tonight. We got a lot of clips tonight. This civilization is not making it to 2040. Probably not. You might be right. Yeah, Ken is a good investigator, man. He's we don't come to the same conclusions, but he's a good investigator, man. Saw one of the orbs personally in a village in Spain. Should have taken a picture. Yeah, guys. So, and I don't want to dishearten anybody, but I don't want people's random pictures that they took at home. Don't send them to me. I got it. Like I get. You have no idea how much of that I get. A lot. I appreciate that you had the experience and that you saw something anomalous, but you have to realize that we can't do anything with that. Same reason why a person testifying to Congress about their telepathic blue alien doesn't do anything. We just need actual evidence of like something that's much more detailed. Even if it's moving around anomalously, that still doesn't prove anything at all. Although I understand that, if I had a personal experience like that, I would want to talk about it too. But it's not the kind of thing that we can launch a full investigation into that's out there. And I haven't actually had a personal experience like that. It would be nice to have one, I guess, someday. Guys, so there is no time on the Glenn Beck debate at the moment. The reason why I was even talking about it is because I want to make sure that it happens. I want to make sure he doesn't back out. Because I got a message from his people saying that they're interested, but that he potentially, wouldn't take it seriously, which is I took as being a debate, a gentleman's debate. And if that's how he thinks about it, then now I want the world to know that I'm in, all in, not afraid. And if anyone wants to back out, then should tell you something, right? Anytime, anywhere, I'll even give him 3 questions ahead of time, let him know my first 3 questions as a handicap, because I have a lot more experience looking into the videos and looking into the plane that way. And I've got all my evidence here as well that he can read. He can watch this stream to prepare to know exactly what I'm going to say, so that he doesn't even have to be surprised by anything that I'm saying. He can watch my interviews so that he knows exactly what I'm going to say. He can try to pick some holes somewhere if he wants to. I'll be ready 100%. Let's see here. I think we might end there for tonight. Let's just look through. I have to redo the whole science part though. So if Glenn Beck or anybody else is watching, I'm going to make the science part even more accurate now. We've got the Chinese hack down here. The Chinese hack might have to go up the list. The fact that there was this random Chinese hack is just wild to me. Although we have so much of our stuff is so good, like the KT witness sighting that's got 2 blog posts from different years that are still consistent with 4 years apart, and then a whole bunch of technical data from her automatic GPS. I mean, that's hard evidence. Matthias Chang. Guys, we might even have to add, like, arrested. Matthias Chang gets arrested while representing a whistleblower in the 1MDB scandal, which actually happened in the same years that the plane went missing. The prime minister of Malaysia might have been corrupted and paid off. This is like circumstantial evidence that the prime minister was getting kickbacks for lying about what happened to the plane. Because he actually said the plane ended in the South Indian Ocean. He's on the record saying that. And then the former prime minister, the one that Matthias Chang worked for, is on the record saying that the CIA took the plane and that the Malaysia shouldn't have to pay the consequences for it. So some of the evidence I've got on here that I don't even talk about on a lot of the videos, on a lot of my podcasts, like, I mean, I'm not afraid of a courtroom. I've got a huge amount of evidence. Or we do, you know, because this is for all of us. What else do we want to look at? So the science, though, I have to update with macroscopic phase conjugation. And we know way more about the science than we used to know. The wormholes, the ether, I have to update all that. That's the crazy part, is that the science is the part where we were the weakest at. So if you look at this here, the science part here was the weakest part. And that's why I even had like the high frequency gravitational wave generator. I might keep these here because these are points from Salvatore Pais' patent. And I may add these to these, like Sal Pais patent. Yeah, that's probably how I'm going to do it. Because these are consistent with what we're seeing, but then I want to change the science part down to having like the topological monopole, the Coulomb's law conversion. I'm just going to add at the bottom, and I'll move it around. Is it? So they're essentially breaking the Schwinger limit, producing energy densities. We also do the dark energy laser. We might have to come up with a better term for dark energy laser beam, guys. I feel like people are going to make fun of us for calling it a dark energy laser beam, although that I think might be literally what it is. It's essentially a laser beam that can create space in front of it so that it can kind of run along that like train tracks, which even to me, sounds a little bit silly, honestly. Let's just crowdfund a lab to build it. But the reason why I called it dark energy laser beam is because that's literally what it was called in that one paper, the warp drive paper. So that one's pretty interesting. And I think it's one of the best ones. So yeah, we saw this. Oh, APK sent more. Yeah. Oh, so you sent both these. Appreciate you, bro. The pic would have been 2 megapixel only. Yeah. So that's part of the problem with a lot of these pictures, is that it's just a light. And yeah, you probably saw something crazy, because when you see it with your eyes, like when you see something crazy, you know, you're like, oh man, and when you take a picture, it never does it justice. Even videos never really do it justice. That's why these videos, and we'll play them one more time, are so good, because the MH370 videos have more detail in them than like any videos ever that we've seen from the UFO community. And this is the part where I was talking to Ian Carroll about, and I was like, dude, this is why they protect this information so much. Because just like a random dude on Twitter, from looking at just two videos that are only a minute long each, we're able to deduce like the entire U.S. spy surveillance satellite apparatus, just their entire surveillance apparatus capabilities. And then it's like finding the missing puzzle piece that just puts everything together. Because once you figure that out, then you're like, okay, so what are these drones? These drones we see here are not aliens. We have some kind of crazy computer capabilities that can use these like automatic homing tracking objects. They're exotic vacuum objects. They're mapping the plane here. Like there's so much intelligence that you get from these videos. And that's something you never see in UFO videos. Like normally you just see like a very stereotypical flying saucer with lights on it, and then it just floats over the screen, and then that's it. The video ends. These videos are telling a whole story. And that whole story is consistent with what happened to the real plane. So this is the part where it's like, you know, the strength of the evidence is just it's too strong here. Even the fact that this video starts just as the plane gets in view. The fact that the video starts at the exact moment the plane gets in view is also a tell, I think, because this camera would not have been able to see the plane if the plane was on the left side of the drone. So that's now that you just mentioned that, holy shit, that's another detail. The camera, the video starts at the same moment that the plane immediately becomes into view from the angle of the camera. Wow. I'm going to put that on my list. We're going to be talking about that because that also indicates that this is a real video that we're seeing here as well. Is that the reason why this video starts at this moment is because this is the moment where the plane gets into view from this camera. And from the other one, it's the moment where probably the plane was not in the same frame as the drone. So they waited until the drone just got separated from the plane, and then that's where they have the video started. Wow, crazy. That's honestly kind of a Yahtzee moment, chat. So you can tell people, so somebody faked the camera in terms of it being like an accurate real camera where the video starts at the exact same moment it would start based on the perspective of the drone relative to the plane. That's a pretty weird detail. Okay, let me see what I got here. So I said the drone gets into view at the same time where drone video starts at the same time when the plane gets into view on the right-hand side camera. Evil forces. Yeah, I don't, guys, I'm not really a person that believes that somebody's like all evil or all good. I'm more of a person that believes that good people can do evil things. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to probably call it there. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's a matter of there's a lot of weird details. And a lot of the weird details are scientifically accurate. Like these details that we're looking at right here. And it's a matter of stacking them up. And that's the reason why you look at it from a court case. When you look at it from the court case perspective, with the totality of the evidence, what is the story that's being told? And this is where you shouldn't listen to any debunker. I've had people literally come out, and I'm going to stop this video, and say that they don't have to address any evidence as long as they poke one hole in your story. There's people that actually think that. There's real people that think that if they poke one hole in your story, they win, and that's all there is to it. That's not how anything works. That's not how a court case works. If you actually guys watch real court cases, the whole point of the court case is that both sides tell the story that they want the jury to be able to believe. So the story here for the debunkers, they don't have one. They literally don't even have one. The best one so far is Tim Pool thinks that a Bitcoin billionaire was bored and made the videos. As far as I know, that's the only story still out there. Some people think that some guy made the videos named Joe Lancaster, and he's been caught lying. So even the Redditors didn't even believe this guy. But there's still some nutjob Redditors that, you know, they're in denial, and they think this guy's credible that has no evidence whatsoever, that's been caught lying. His story doesn't make any sense. The website he uploaded wasn't even there. It says he just made up the look of the blue drone video, even though it's turned out later on after he made that statement that it's actually real, how the drone looks, and they do have color cameras like that. So yeah, there's people out there that they believe, honestly, the irony of people like that who believe like a liar who's got his pronouns in his bio and a picture of a mask on his face and Free Palestine, whatever the current thing is plugged into his brain, thinks that he made these videos. It's ironic because you have to be more gullible than if these videos were fake for us to believe that. Like you have to be just completely ignorant of all reality to think that that guy made the videos. Okay. So yes, once again, you need to come up with a full story, how and why, how long it took, who the person was, what their motivations were, that's consistent with all the evidence we put out here. Because the evidence that we've put forth in this screenshot down here, this evidence is evidence that's universal. So this evidence applies as well, even for the debunkers. So your evidence for how the videos were faked have to be consistent with everything you see on this list. So you need a story that's consistent with everything that you read on these 17 pages. Why Catherine T's sightings like this, why Mike McKay sees the plane on fire, why Matthias Chang told alternative media it would have a global impact on the world's economy. Why would Matthias Chang, who is advisors to the former prime minister of Malaysia, tell alternative media it would have a global impact on the world's economy? Why would he say that about a missing plane? That's a really weird thing to say. So what is the hoaxer narrative for why he said that? So they have to address every single thing you see on this list. It's not a matter of this is my story. This actually here is a list of evidence. My story actually isn't even listed anywhere in here. And so this is where my story comes from is the evidence list. And why my story is teleportation is here's the evidence for why what we see there is actually teleportation. We're going to change this to warp drive. Let's see. Why is it warp drive, not annihilation or cloaking? The science, the patents, the debunks. Okay, what was that one I need to add the debunk to the cloud debunk? Let's reword this one. 6-day-old Reddit account inexplicably found let's just say not even on the obscure website because people might argue about that. Found a cloud image within 20 minutes out of millions cloud images where the clouds had to be stretched, stitched, and reoriented. So a 6-day-old Reddit account, I think I'm also just going to change this for posterity purposes. 6-day-old Reddit account inexplicably finds a cloud image within 20 minutes out of millions of cloud images where the clouds had to be stretched, stitched, reoriented, and reoriented to match. That should have been the death knell to the cloud debunk, is that the story of the cloud image even being found is completely impossible. That person's lying, and the question is, why are they lying about how they found the cloud image? They didn't spend 20 minutes and randomly happen to go, oh, look at this cloud image. If I restretch these clouds here and stitch this all together, these would be the clouds in the videos. That's completely inexplicable. So whoever that person was who found this cloud image, that person needs to come out and tell the truth about how they found this cloud image, because lying about it right from the bat is super sketchy about the debunk in general. And that's before we get to the part about how there literally can't be a 2D cloud image in the 3D videos because of the lighting. They couldn't be reverse image searched. And actually, it wasn't even Anons. It was Redditors that sent him the email. So Redditors, and I don't know, somebody actually found out which one it was. I think they admitted it. I think it was actually the T Powell guy. The same guy that's attacking me is the one guy who actually found the cloud that sent the email to Jonas to have Jonas attach his name to it. So weird connection. The guy who's defaming me on social media and like the guy who's got having like the literal mental break on social media, and completely 100% obsessed with me, spending his whole life looking and talking about me. He's the guy that actually sent the email to Jonas as well. So this already right away, we can throw it out. We can throw out the cloud picture. There's no credibility to it whatsoever, and we haven't even analyzed it technically yet. There's clear dripping bias and seething hatred. These people, And these same people, these same Redditors, so the same group of TJ Powell and them, they committed federal felony fraud against me already, fabricating fake evidence. They actually talk about it a lot in their Discords. People send me messages in their Discords where they talk about sending me fake data and stuff like that as well. So you have to realize, like, these people are compromised. They're actually making fake debunks because in their head, these videos break their minds and they need them to be fake. So this is one thing I didn't anticipate, is that people would actually fabricate fake evidence. Like, maybe not even necessarily the CIA, but people who have like mental problems are like fabricating fake evidence because they just want this to go away that badly, because that's how much of a threat it is to their existential well-being. Think about that for a second. That's scary, man. That's really scary. And it's happened multiple times. So then why would the photographer make the debunk video after that? You get a random email from Reddit nutjobs who have mental problems, and you're like, yep, I'll take this from here. I'll go ahead and make a debunk video, guys. Right now, I'm not even going to look into it. The images don't even go back past 2016. And even the image, the database data on the website host only goes back to October of 2014. So even if they didn't fabricate that, it still doesn't even predate the videos on the database where it was uploaded. So there's actually no evidence that that image even existed on the database when the plane went missing, or in the duration of time where the video would have to be made. No evidence whatsoever. The cloud image couldn't even be found in reverse image search. Even if you reverse image search the image, it didn't go back to the website. It actually doesn't even go back to the website. Well, how could it goes back to Reddit, but it doesn't go back to the website. The other pictures in the set do. This one doesn't. And the image was actually modified as well. They updated the image on December 6th, I think it was 2023. I think it's December 6th. I may have to update it, but it's close enough. It's basically around the same time that the 6-day-old Reddit account was made. Just so coincidentally enough, the 6-day-old Reddit account was made at the same time where the image gets updated in the database that doesn't reverse image search back to the website. Oh, and then the super kicker, and this is where I revealed this in the DMs with Kim Dotcom. The picture taker told us to go look at the torrents. So I need to snip that, actually, where the picture taker told us that we should go look in the torrents when Kim Dotcom asked how many people had downloaded the image. He says, well, go look in the torrents because all the torrents this website used to get pirated all the time. So we go look through as many torrents as we could find. I think we only found 2 or 3. None of them had the picture in it. Picture doesn't even exist in the torrents. I mean, guys, I don't know what else to tell you, man. I'm probably almost as certain that the whole image was an elaborate ruse as I am that we can warp an airplane. So, oh yeah, and then I also recently posted the thing where you can create a higher quality cloud image from a lower quality clouds in 45 seconds using conventional AI right now. 45 seconds. So the big question is it easier to make a full 3D rendered environment from a 2D cloud image, or the opposite? Or, you know what, we're going to switch this. Yeah, so is it easier to make a 2D cloud image from a 3D rendered video, or a full 3D rendered environment from a 2D cloud image? Obviously, the answer to that is the former. Anyone telling you otherwise is a liar. It's not something you can argue. It's obviously easier to take a 3D video and take a snapshot, and now you have a 2D cloud image. Throw it into your AI, and then have your AI expand out the clouds around it. In fact, I even showed the thing that it was put into one of those AI sensors, and the AI sensor thing said it was 80% sure that the image had been created by AI. There's even a tool out there to change the metadata to have it become a raw file. Also, I don't know why debunkers think that raw file is some kind of exclusive thing that can't be faked. Of course it can. And we actually found applications that will let you do that as well. I don't know. They make a lot of weird claims. Oh, yeah. And then the best part is everybody involved is a VFX expert, and they all know each other, and they're all tied to the corridor crew. So everybody involved was a VFX expert. They all know each other, and they're all tied to the corridor crew, including the person that found the pictures, including the 6-day-old Reddit account. So honestly, the cloud debunk is probably starting to become worse than even the jittery contrails one, just because there's so much forensic analysis. And this actually doesn't even go into the forensic analysis. So I'm actually adding this on here as well. Forensic analysis actually shows that a Flickr image of Mount Fuji with the exact matching angle of the picture and shadow on the mountain was used to generate the fake cloud picture. So the idea here is that you just use that existing picture, you paste over the top of it your clouds from that MH370 video, you put it into an AI, and then it upscales the cloud picture and makes it look like the clouds from the video are at Mount Fuji, which is contraindicated by the coordinates we see in the bottom left, by the way. So pretty weird stuff, man. And actually, there's more. I'll probably add even more to this, but we actually have a great animation, and maybe I can even add the animation in here, where you can actually see it's a 100% perfect overlay from a Mount Fuji picture on Flickr that we found. Exact same angle, exact same shadows on the mountain that match the supposed image that has the clouds in them. It's pretty wild, huh? Yeah, massive shout out to WS Advisor. He's the one. I'll actually pull it up real quick so you guys can see. Because WS Advisor, basically, he's like a hardcore forensic analysis when it comes to like pictures and stuff like that. And that's not my area of expertise, so I usually don't dig into that in general. But the evidence that he put forth is pretty damn compelling, man. I mean, I think it pretty conclusively shows that there's some manipulation that happened. And I was trying to be nice to like this person who took the picture, and I didn't want to like, directly get them in trouble for, they may have been used with respect to this picture being taken. They may not have known that they were being lied to. So I didn't really even want to dig into a lot of this, but because all the debunkers want to come and bring it back, then we're just going to expose that guy. Unfortunately, like I gave him fair warning not to get himself involved in the situation without looking at the evidence, and he ignored it. So you shouldn't have too much sympathy for him. He asked for it 100%. And not only just that, like not only did he ask for it, but he also did multiple Ask Me Anythings. Like not only did he come into the case, insert himself into it when he had no reason to be. He's just a guy that took a picture on the internet. He has no reason to get involved, starts making debunked videos out there. And then on top of that, he starts doing Ask Me Anythings on Reddit for people. Like this is not the behaviors of somebody who is innocent in any of this stuff. This is somebody who's getting directly involved without listening to any of the evidence. And just to completely kill the cloud debunk in front of everybody who's watching, thousands and thousands of people right now. This is the Flickr image overlaid over the exact cloud image in question. And you can see that it is a 100% pixel perfect match. Exact same angle, exact same shadow in the ridge here as well. Exactly the same. How do you get the exact same angle from the exact same shadow in this exact same picture that has Mount Fuji? It's a 100% pixel perfect match. Look at that. 100% match. These are the people that think that a non-matching VFX. This is what a real 100% match looks like. This is no manipulation, by the way, guys. No manipulation. So this is actually just straight up. You can see it's just shifting the opacity back and forth. That's it. That's it. And so we've proven beyond a doubt that this picture is clearly fabricated according to the debunker's own standards. The debunkers say that if you find something like this that matches, that proves it to be fake. That's the standard of the Reddit debunkers of McWest So we're just using their exact standard. That's 100% pixel perfect match. Now, by comparison, I'm going to show you something that's not a 100% pixel perfect match. This is the actual comparison I'm going to show right now. That is the best possible match for the Pyromania VFX. Oh, wait, where is it? Here it is. Here's the best possible match for the Pyromania VFX that's out there. For the people that think that that doesn't match, those people are saying that this matches. Okay? They say that this is a 100% pixel perfect match. It's a donut, you guys. It was a donut all along. It was always a donut. It's a perfect match. Just kidding. The one in that I'm really trying to show here. This is it. That was just a joke, guys. That one was just a joke. This is the one that supposedly they claim is a pixel perfect match right here. Can I make this bigger? Oh, yeah, I can. Okay. So this is the best possible match, and you can just tell without even doing a pixel comparison that it doesn't match along the edges. You can tell there's dots just completely missing in the real thing. Like there's all these extra little effects in here that just aren't there anymore. There's an extra dot that's missing. This whole edge right here doesn't even match. And that's just the edge, where the edge is similar, but doesn't match. The middle is not even close. It's not even remotely close. You can see the plane sticking out of the real one. This fake one here is weird, like things shooting out of the top left and down the bottom right. It doesn't even remotely match in the center here. These are the people that are telling you that the Mount Fuji picture doesn't match, are telling you that this is a pixel perfect match. How do you even convert what you see in color here to what you see in black? How do you even do that? What are the steps to modify it? The steps for the Mount Fuji picture are really simple. You literally just perfectly overlay it, and then you just shift the opacity back and forth. All you have to do for this one is literally just overlay it and shift the opacity back and forth, and it's 100% pixel perfect match. Pretty funny, huh? So I am excited for the Glenn Beck debate. I think that'll be great. I hope that he gets some advice from the Redditors. If I was him, I always give the best advice, guys. If I was Glenn Beck, I would not take any advice from the Redditors. I'm already ready. I know everything that they're thinking. I know that they're going to say that the ocean's really big, though. It was some kind of suicidal pilot, even though there's literally no evidence for that. I'm just going to say that and repeat that. And I'm going to say something about the simulator without realizing that the simulator data is MH150 to Jeddah. Perfect match for MH150 to Jeddah. I've got that ready to go, too. I have something that I haven't ever showed related to that, to the simulator data, which will conclusively prove it. In fact, here it is. I actually am going to show it. Okay. So the simulator data that they have here is in red, and the simulator data does not like have this straight line like this path like here. It just has there's a waypoint in the South Indian Ocean that they've manually connected. You can see that the red path is a perfect overlay to the 5 most recent. How many different in the top right here? You can see MH150 flights. This was like every 4 days, there's a flight to Jeddah from Kuala Lumpur. And you can see this was their real flight path. It's clearly just the flight path from MH150. This purple one, they probably had to deviate because there was some weather or something like that. But all these other ones are perfect overlays. So the flight path is conclusively not some pre-planned route. It was literally from Kuala Lumpur all the way up here. It was literally Jeddah, the flight to Jeddah. And he was actually slated to fly this route in February, right after he was practicing the route. So the simulator route stuff is 100% fake, and it actually was ruled out officially as well. Not only with that, but it was also ruled out officially. The FBI ruled it out, and so did the Malaysian government, that was any type of suicide route. So that just goes to show how much fake stuff people believe out there. I can't wait to talk about these videos with someone like Glenn Beck. Hopefully he comes prepared so that we can have an intelligent conversation. Thank you very much, Bobby Lee. Guys, you guys are triggering the debunkers with these donations because they're like, he's making so much money in donations. Well, I'm telling people not to donate to me. If you need your money, please do not donate to me. I want you to keep that money. But some people just love the case so much, they love the investigation so much that they want to support it. And I appreciate that, because if I were to lose my job related to this and they try to ruin my life or whatever, it'll be nice to have that extra money so that I can, get on my feet or whatever is necessary. So thank you guys very much for that. I appreciate it. And of course, I'm going to use that to, upgrade the equipment. I'm actually thinking about changing my streaming setup, changing the angle, maybe having more depth in the background. I have to just move stuff around for that. The problem is the walls are always going to be white because I don't want to paint my walls, too much effort. But I may make it like a little bit better so that it's more visually appealing for people who are watching. Let me just make sure I got all the donations. Once again, Tom, thank you very much. Oh, Tracy Scott, if you have kids, please speak to their science teachers. Let's get the word out. Use your 10 minutes of time. It will open many minds. Yeah, so what I would say is if you have kids that are in school, even high school, and they're learning physics or electrical engineering, have them talk about Tesla. Have them talk about Maxwell's equations. Have them talk about the scalar potential. That seems like it's like a hard thing, but it's actually, even if they don't take it seriously, at least the science teacher might think about it and go, wait, how does that person know about it? So pretty cool. Thank you very much, guys. Now, I think we're going to play it out here. Yeah, the thing, too, is like if I did lose my job and people started coming after me or something like that, I feel like the community would rally around. And I'm grateful for that. Absolutely grateful for that. Honestly, it makes me kind of choke up a little bit when I think about it, because there's so many awesome people in this community that have been, supporting, finding evidence, helping out here and there. I'm glad to represent you. I think that this is something here that if we get the outcome that we're looking for, it's going to be one of the greatest stories ever. And you guys will be able to go watch the movie later on, and they'll have Jesse Eisenberg playing me or Michael Cera. And you'll go, damn, I was part of that. I was part of revealing that information. That's going to be an awesome experience for everybody. Even the debunkers might appreciate it. Although the debunkers will end up getting played by I don't know, some troll actor. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to stop there for tonight. We'll probably do a little bit more, probably dig hard into the science tomorrow. I'm going to read some of those papers that I listed up there. So if you want a sneak peek, take a look at those scientific papers. And I'm going to post the clip from James O'Keefe later tonight before I go to sleep, I think, right after this. And I'm going to probably post a link as well to the Big Things podcast. So, guys, make sure you watch the Big Things podcast appearance I did with him. Let's get him as many views as we can get. It was a good conversation that I had with him. The debunks get addressed, everything. He's a normal guy. He had Jesse Michael on. He had Avi Loeb on recently. So watch Christian with the Big Things podcast tonight. Watch my short clip in question to James O'Keefe about the CIA and the weapons that they're hiding. And yeah, let's do this thing, guys. Thanks everybody for hanging out tonight. I'm going to play us out with the Kim song again, which is hilarious. And then we'll play out our favorite song. So thanks everybody. Thanks everybody who donated. Have a great night. Love you guys. Peace, everybody.
He got empty pockets and holly from the USA. The government came and took it all away. If he's a good boy, he gets his allowance. Kim Dotcom has that glowy clairvoyance. Empty dot, why do you glow so hard? Kim Dotcom, what is hiding in your past? Kim Dotcom stole from Hollywood, insider trading and embezzlement sting. Now he's on Twitter calling scammers with the only thing. The FBI left him a G-string. But when the glow's called him, he shed a tear. Now he's calling other people scammers out of fear. He got empty pockets and heartache from the USA. The government came and took it all away. Empty thought, why do you blow so hard? Empty.com, what is hiding in your past? Empty.com stole from Hollywood, insider trading and embezzlement sting. Now he's on Twitter calling scammers so hard? Why you go so hard? Giddy, Kim. Why you go so hard? Why you go so hard? Giddy, Kim. Why you go so hard? Why you go so hard? Giddy, Kim. Why you go so hard? Why you go so hard?
It's MH370. Until you do some research, don't talk to me. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. Your opinion, it means squat to me. It's H370. Not all heroes wear capes. I wear glasses to see. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. The trolls hate seeing me succeed, but guess what?